This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Sunset Safari. We, of course, had a yellow-billed hornbill, but in typical SafariLive fashion, it flew away at 10 seconds before we started the show. My name is Taylor McCurdy, and on camera with me today is Senzo, and I'm back in the Sabi sand. How excited are all of you? I'm totally excited. Anyways, so we've obviously got some other folk joining us on the safari, and David is back in the Mara. How excited are all of you? Probably more excited to see David than to see me. I know I'm excited to see him. And then James will be in the tent and probably featuring at some point. You will hear his voice though, so don't be alarmed. The animals haven't learned to speak English yet, so if anything does pop down at the watering hole, he might come on board. But remember, this is a live and interactive show, and I have to remember to turn back and look at the camera to remind myself what I'm supposed to do after leave. So remember to hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, and you can chat to us on a variety of different things. Whoa, what footprint is that? Now we have to play that game of I haven't been tracking for a long time since I was in the Mara, and now I can't remember. So well, let me jump out. Might as well. Cool. So there's not some leopard tracks. I thought they were leopard tracks, but I'll show you why they're not leopard tracks. I'm now not telling you why they aren't leopard tracks. I'm just trying to remind myself. So basically, my shadow, if you look over here, there is a very old footprint in the sand. It's not particularly new, and just from the ones that were fresher a little bit further away, there are actually claw marks. So to me this says it's a hyena, and it's only got 2 lobes at the back here versus 3, whereas you know the cats have got 3. So not something we're looking for right now, but it would be quite nice to see a hyena or 2. Yeah, I always forget how high that jump up into the cars are. Okay, so I haven't been watching, I must confess. I've been naughty, I've been holidaying, and I don't really know where any of the animals are. And Senzo was off this morning, had a much deserved rest. So he says that we should just go to Treehouse Dam and start there. And from all the pictures of leopards, they must be here somewhere. However, I don't know if the animals really like me, especially the leopards. They run away. So let's go and see if we can see Tandi or Tlalamba, maybe Hosana, which would be, I mean, pretty phenomenal, because to be honest, I didn't think I was going to see Hosana again. Anyways, off you go back to the Mara, where David has already got the cats. Nope. That's not how you're supposed to do it. I'm just going to keep talking because there's a 10-second delay.
Hello, Jumbo, and a very big good afternoon all the way from the Masai Mara in the Mara Triangle in Kenya. And we are starting our PM game drive with some lions and ellies in the background with some wonderful light. Look at that. It's the lions just lazing around, doing what they do best. Enjoying temperatures 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. They could not ask for better temperatures than those ones. And just taking it easy and looking around. As always, my name is David. Jumbo to all of you. Sorry, I've been away for some time. I'm back, and we came back yesterday with the big man, James. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, indeed.
James is very excited. This morning we promised to do something with James that we never did. We might do it this afternoon. Welcome. Remember, your questions keep us going. Comments that you may have, as usual, hashtag SafariLive, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And you can also keep following us on the YouTube chat stream. There we have Pride of Lions that we call the Olololo Pride. This pride is called Olololo Pride, and when we got here, I counted 14 of them together. They're all spread out in this one particular area. I counted 14, and maybe what you have on the frame now could be about 7 or 8 of them. At 82 degrees Fahrenheit, it's a bit warm, so you notice it's just under the shade of that tree. but these ones are a bit active. As much as it's a bit warm, they all look to be alert, turning around. Two of them look in the direction of the Ellis. And you know, to the background there, James is going to be showing you a herd of elephants in that marsh green area. And they're looking at them, wondering they don't turn around this way because elephants have been known to harass lions once in a while. I'm looking at about 500 meters apart between the lions and the Ellis. So the area the elephants are eating is a marsh area, always green. There's water that comes from underground, and you can tell the elephants have a very good reason to be where they are. So I would guess they eat at the same time cooling off. These ones are more or less submerged, maybe down from the ankles downwards. They're like wading in the water in the marsh area. But to them, I think it's pretty warm. You see they keep flapping their ears, an indication it's warm. As much as they're cooling their feet in there, it's pretty warm, and that's why they keep flapping their ears every other few seconds. And what a beautiful sighting we got with Ellis and lions. Perfect light. In such a nice open area. And Casting, the final control, says that is truly beautiful, and I agree with you that it is just amazing. Very good. I'm very excited to be welcomed back by everybody. And James, everybody says welcome. You're happy to hear that, James?
Asante sana.
Very good. Anything you have to tell the viewers, James, that you've been away for about 2 weeks?
I love them.
All right. James says he's excited to be back. But looking at these lions, the way they're looking at the elephants, I think out of experience they have learnt most of the big animals will always pass and do their thing, for example, buffaloes, but not the elephants. Rosalind, in a given time, the lionesses or a lioness would have a litter of 4 cubs. Of course, that depends on the particular lioness. I would say a few things may come in play. Age, you know, the breed or its genetic origin, but the average is 2 to 4. But the maximum number of cubs I have seen with one lioness are 4. We have seen some who will only drop 1 in a litter, some 2, some 3. But in a given time, 4 is the average for lionesses to have cubs. There's one particular one here that had 4 cubs, which did very well, and 3 of them survived to adult, and I would say they're sub-adult in this pride here. Very good to keep getting your questions, because you'll always try and explain what you want to know. Comments when you see lions in such an area just enjoying themselves, flicking their tails, ears once in a while. You might hear some cars around us, but they're also enjoying this beautiful sighting together with us. You're leaking there. Hello there. How have you been? So this pride was seen by my colleague Brent about 20 miles from here, and that was 2 days ago, and it has, they have come a long way to be where they are. And just like me, who came back the other day, Taylor just came and she got something to tell us.
Do I? Well, I've got lots to say. You all know that. Okay, so we're about to arrive at Treehouse Dam. I've seen 2 impalas so far. It's going well. And then we also had that yellow-billed hornbill earlier, which flew away. I'm sure we will see many, many, many more of those. What does everybody want to see today? Let us know. #SafariLive. And we'll just have a look here. Where did all the water go? The animals are thirsty. Raphael, so I think the things that I would like to see the most is birds. I like birds, and speaking of birds, in this tree here, this little shrubby thing, is it that one? Yeah, somewhere in there, there's little wax bills. We'll probably have to look in a bit closer. Is that one? No, if we go down a little bit to like the middle of the tree. So that's typically what waxbills, especially the blue waxbills, like to do, is for safety, and that tree's got spines on it, they'll fly into something like that. And then the predatory birds, so from kestrels and hawks and other little raptors, there we go, you can see, is that wind? Or is that a bird hopping around? They were in there, a whole lot of them flew, but they could have also just flown through and gone out the other side. But that is a good spot anyways. If you were looking for little birds on a very hot day, I would recommend staring into the trees. Raphael, I'm very, very excited, not just birds, but of course to see the elephants. I think the elephants are going to be my favorites. Senzo, can you see the little one just on the edge of this overhanging tree? Let me try to point it out. There. Hello. What are you? Is it a sparrow? I think it is just a southern grey sparrow. Is it? Maybe. I didn't even bring my bird book out with me, but luckily I've got a bird app, but I don't know. You know, it's so hard when you come back from a new area and then you have to look at all the birds again, even though I've seen them. Or is it a firefinch? I can't see. No, it's making a very little pss, pss. Someone help me. Hashtag SafariLive quickly before I ruin my guiding career because I can't identify this bird. I'm totally going to try and figure out what this is, and I'll come back to all of you. But in the meantime, somebody has arrived at the pan.
Yes, they have. Some impalas have arrived at the pan to have a drink. There's also an oxpecker there having a drink on the left-hand side. Good afternoon from the nest cam. I'm sitting here in the tent, not next to the nest cam. I am observing the nest cam much in the same way that you are. Something has startled those impalas on this very pleasant afternoon. I think it's probably round about 26 degrees Celsius or so, round about 78 Fahrenheit. And this young male now coming down to drink, wondering to himself how he has managed to mix it up with the big boys there, who are now leaving. Let's have another little angle. If I can do that, if I'm clever enough, am I able to do it? Yes, I am. There's a huge herd actually coming down to drink. Now, we've had elephants here today. I'm hoping we'll have perhaps elephants again, and perhaps even Horsana will pay us a visit. He has done many times, and he was around here this morning actually. There we are. Ram taking or pulling rank to get a drink. Red-billed oxpeckers having a drink. And remember, you can talk to us still on this using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Ooh, I think we're not going to hang around here. Let's go across to Taylor.
I cannot believe my luck today. I think this happens all the time. Whenever I arrive back in the Sabi Sand, I do get an incredible welcome. And perhaps if some of you go back and look at your screenshots while you're trying to identify a bird, you may have also seen a leopard at the back, which I did none of it, Senzo discovered. And it is Mr. Tingana, who's also just soared for us. It's been a long time since I have heard the sound of a leopard. How crazy! I mean, I'm just taking a moment here to realize how spoiled I am in the Sabi Sand. Like, I honestly cannot believe that this whole thing, that this has just happened. This is not real. I can't believe it. Everybody, if you want to come on a safari holiday, come to the Sabi Sand. It's magnificent, and especially at this time of the year, because it's just wonderful. Hello, my old friend. Goodness, it's been a long time. I'm even going to look at him with my binoculars, just because he's so beautiful. And like we always say, it's always incredible to look at things through your binoculars. That's something you should always bring with you. That's so cool. Hello, beautiful boy. So, unusual that he was soaring at this time of the day. I mean, typically you'll see leopards more active sort of at dusk and dawn, and they're quite vocal right through the evenings and into the early mornings. But maybe with all this unusual activity around, and when I say unusual activity, because it's not normal to have so many leopards together in such close proximity. Obviously, we always talk about the density of leopards in the Sabi Sand being, phenomenal and the best in the country, and they live, fairly close to one another. But to be just within a couple of meters, in the same sighting, essentially, on a regular basis, I mean, there's very few books that write about this. In fact, I've really yet to read about the situation that's been going on at the moment. So I think we're very, very lucky to be witnessing all of this, because I certainly haven't seen it, and I don't think many others have seen it too. But that's great news for us. So typical in, you know, old man Tingana fashion, just resting up in the shade. He's going to have to move soon, because as the sun starts to set towards the west, you can see, look how much of his body is now coming into contact with the sun. And it's not, I mean, it's not a hot day, but it's definitely warm. And maybe with him soaring like that, maybe he's going to get up a little bit earlier. Perhaps it's going to get cooler. It'll probably be the coldest evening ever in the Sabi Sand, because I'm wearing shorts and I only bought a little jersey. So that's most likely what's going to happen. But that is awesome. I didn't even see him there. I was still busy trying to faff and look at that bird. I didn't even see what it was. Maybe it was a firefinch of sorts. Kill 6, yes, he does have quite a round belly, well spotted. I don't know when he last ate. Of course, it's going to take me some time to figure out everything. Senzo, do you remember when Tingana last ate? Ooh, haven't seen him with a kill. Senzo shakes his head, and Kirsty in FC has just said exactly the same thing. Okay, so perhaps he's just caught something small. Maybe he has been on a kill, he's just had it stashed away somewhere. Remember, leopards typically are secretive creatures, although I find it interesting because it's very difficult to hide anything away at the moment. I've forgotten how open the Sabi Sand can actually be in the winter months. What do you think? We'll have another look at him here, and then maybe we'll go around and we'll park on the other side of the dam wall in a little while. He looks like he's really unimpressed with what I've got to say about him. Well, you're looking good. You definitely... It was amazing to watch that comeback. It was something that I also still can't get over, and I'll remember forever. Watching the fear in his eyes as he used to hear Hukumuri soar. And for those of you who are uncertain as to who Hukumuri is, because I don't know when he was last sort of seen around, he was a new male that moved into the area, but it seems to have stuck to the west. Yo, that sound is so cool. And we're so close to him that when he does soar, the vehicle vibrates slightly too. So I literally can feel it through my feet. As soon as he did that first rasp, it's like I didn't even hear it. I felt it. Got goosebumps. Wow. That is an amazing sound. I mean, we were really spoilt in the Mara. We are really spoilt in the Mara. Every night you go to bed hearing lions, hearing the hyenas, the zebra outside the tent, the elephants moving around down below. But the sound of a leopard soaring is not something that you hear very often. But all good signs. Rasping, yawning, head up, looking around. What's your next move, Tingana? Maybe with that full belly, he will want to come down and have a drink. It'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. If we do bushwalk around here, we'll definitely go looking around, and we'll sort of see if we can find any of the, you know, remains of a carcass. Maybe it was something small, just like a deka or a steenbok. They are really vulnerable at the moment. With it being so open, there's not much for them to hide away in, which is, well, unfortunate for them. That's fantastic. Okay, well, we're definitely not going to go anywhere, but the next time you come back to us, I will reposition and hopefully we'll be closer to Tingana. But off you go to David with the lions. Nope, we're not going anywhere. Staying with him because of that beautiful soaring sound. Shall we do that? Let's quickly reposition, Senzo. Let's stay with me. Let's see if we can get another view. We're on the other side of the dam. And, I mean, it's quite nice. You can stay here. But Tingana's a really relaxed leopard. He never used to be, but he's obviously settled down in his age. And ever since I've been here in the north, he's always been the most incredible leopard. So I'm happy if we approach a little bit closer. We won't get too close. Oh, he's actually... Nope. Sneaky cat. This is an old man. He's got many tricks here. He's going to come for a drink. Thank you for doing what I said, Tingana. That is great. You make me look like such a superb field guide. It's all about luck, I'm telling you. Oh, amazing. So, James, I am currently sitting at Treehouse Dam. So, I'm south of where the dam cam is situated at Vuyatela Dam. So, it's actually not far as the crow flies. I don't know, maybe a mile away, maybe just over a mile. So if, you know, if it was James going for a run, he would do it in about 10 seconds. That's how close. It's not that close, but James runs really fast. So, so he might end up going that way. Again, it's been it's always difficult when you come back to an area and you haven't been seeing the animals constantly. You've got to try and remember what is actually going on and what the animals' patterns are. Look at that, it's like we're in a desert. It's so dry. I mean, it's such an incredible contrast from summer to winter here on the Sabi Sand. Whereas in Kenya, in the Mara, I mean, yes, it does change. The grass obviously goes from taller than the top of your head. It gets cut down quite a bit from animals trampling it to animals feeding. And then, of course, it just sort of changes colour. So it goes from the beautiful, vibrant colours of green to sort of the more harsh winter tones of browns and yellows. But other than that, it doesn't do this dramatic change like it does here on the Sabi Sand. And I think that's another exciting thing and another appeal about the Sabi Sand is that you can come for various things. I believe now all of you are having a good chuckle saying that Tingana is saying, welcome back, Taylor. We'll see if he saws again. No, I won't ruin a sawing moment. But very, very thirsty. And you can drink lots and lots of water, especially after a big meal. I mean, they're not like you and I that every time we are thirsty, we just have a little bit of a drink whenever we need to. You know, they might only drink once a day. Sometimes they might not even go a day without drinking if they've had a big feast and water is a fair distance away. But there he goes. Just lapping it all up. Okay, for reals now, we are going to send you back to the Mara to see what David and his wonderful lions are getting up to. And hopefully, they'll be just as cool as Tingana.
Well, Taylor, keep Tingana until late in the day and don't move as he enjoys his drink, because I have also not moved. And we are seeing a youngster, Ellie, coming towards this pride of lions, and he has been coming closer every 1 minute. He's been making a move, a foot closer, a foot closer. The wind has picked up considerably, and I do not know whether that could be some sign of some storm later in the day, but all the lions look very relaxed and the wind doesn't seem to be bothering them. What could be bothering them now is the approaching youngster over Nelly. He looks to me like a young boy, and sometimes, you know, boys are full of nonsense, and I want to see what might happen, because he keeps every 1 foot getting closer. At one point, all the lions stood up looking at him, and as we're talking, he's changing the course of direction now. But you can tell these lions don't look very worried by this Ellie here. It's like he's minding his own business. Or maybe he was tempting them, like, you try to make a move and I'll teach you a lesson. And he noticed, well, so what? I'm going. You're not of any, you can't match up with me. But still they're keeping a close eye on him, not taking any chances. I remember way back I saw a pride of lions, about 12 lions, eating a baby elephant. That's the only time I saw Ellie's attacking and devouring a young baby elephant that was left slightly bit behind by the herd, and the mother was not very close. But what happened is, after they killed it, the mother came back. Not much the mother would have done, but the baby was already dead, so the mother left. So this is another female part of this group, and at one point she stood up. I am not very sure what they had seen, but I guessed there was a warthog around this area, And if you look to the left of that lioness there's a big male that is part of the 4 musketeers of the Triangle Boys. Now, I think it's just lying not very far from where that Ellie is. It's in front of the tree, and I could see the mane. And I think he's moving towards where he's laying down. As well, you'll notice the elephant look young, but they know the consequences of trying to get an elephant down. The main herd is not very far from here. So what would happen is he is going to raise an alarm, and the rest of the elephants will come zooming and trumpeting. And what would happen? They will easily attack the lion. So the lions are pretty clever cats, and they don't want to take any chances going for that elephant. But if he was a little younger than he is, I can tell you they would have gone for it. But of course, the very young ones and this one, the mothers will not be very far from them. The other day we saw a pride of lions that we call the Owinos were trying to attack a baby rhino, and it was quite a standoff for about 45 minutes when the mother rhino came so close to like fighting 5 lions together. So this youngster now is between these 2 lionesses here and the main pride, or the bigger group on the right. And these 2 are just watching him, and the other group of about 12 have just laid down flat and not even bothered by his presence. James, can you see the male? Where did the male go? Is he lying down somewhere? The male could be somewhere behind those 2 females there. And you can tell the amount of wind. If this were herbivores, for example, antelopes, say impalas, you could have noticed the scare or the worry in them. But lions here, with the wind picking up, they are like, life continues and all is good. Not sure what the spotted cat Tingana is doing at the moment.
He hasn't done much after he finished his drink, which was only a couple of seconds longer. He moseyed on over, just down an animal pathway, and now he's flopped in the shade. Hello, big boy. And he has got a rather large belly. It'll be interesting to find out what he has actually been eating. I feel, though, at this time of the year, with everything been exposed, and obviously you've all been watching Hosanna at the dam cam, he's kind of showed you exactly what the leopards are eating at the moment. And with big paws like that, it's quite easy to grab hold onto something as small as a common duiker or a steenbok. And like I was saying earlier, it's tough for some of these animals now that rely on hiding behind tall grass or under the leafy trees. And there's pretty much not many trees left other than the guarri trees, the odd wattle, and a few others that have still got leaves on them. But it won't be long before they get their leaves again after the first bit of rain, and it'll all be back to normal. And now he looks exhausted. He's done his bit. He's told the world that he's in this area, or anyone that's listening. Had a drink. And this is a much comfier, shady spot. But again, it won't be long. Maybe 20 or 30 minutes before the sun would have changed angles and will be beating down on him. Now, Jamie, from what I understand, Tingana actually means shy. And we were just talking about that a little bit earlier. Obviously, it doesn't really ring true now. But, Jamie, it was so interesting. I sort of started talking about how I couldn't believe the incredible comeback that Tingana has made. And perhaps some of you are uncertain as to what I'm talking about. So, essentially, there was an injury. No one really knows what happened to Tingana. There were speculations of a snake bite. It could have been a number of different things that could have happened to him. Anyways, he became very unwell. He lost condition. He virtually he didn't have any muscle left. He was thin. He just wasn't doing well. He was eating terrapins and tortoises. He lived at Chitwa, which is just south of us. He didn't really move from there, and we said it was almost like it was his retirement home, except he wasn't in retirement. He had us all fooled. It was just a recovery spot, like almost like he was in rehabilitation. So there he was for quite some time, and he would pop onto Juma every now and then, and I'll never forget that day that I think it was Steve that had Hukumuri, or Ralph, no, it may have been Ralph, and Hukumuri soared. We couldn't hear it from where we were. I've never seen Tingana scared like that. His eyes were as wide as an owl's. It looked like he drank about 150 cups of coffee, but petrified. And as he heard that sound, he ran away from us. He ducked into the bush, and we couldn't find him again after that. So we obviously left him. Like I said, I'd never seen him so terrified. And that is the only time I've ever seen Tingana shy, other than when you're on foot. He's not a cat that enjoys people approaching him on foot, unlike Hosana and some other leopards, and Tandi as well. I mean, I don't think she loves it, but she tolerates us. So pretty spectacular to even just get a glimpse of him. I've been quite close to him on foot once. We were on bushwalk, and we were trying to track the male leopard. We didn't quite know if it was Tingana, if it wasn't Vula at the time. Anyways, we saw a flash of him. He was so close to us. He didn't growl, didn't anything. He just leaped over a log and then ran away. And then I think Tristan eventually got him much later in the afternoon. This was ages ago, though. So he's best viewed in a car. And for those of you who have been watching for some time, you often hear me say, if I know that it's Tingana, I'm not interested in tracking him on foot, because I know I'll just end up ruining the sighting for anybody later just because he doesn't enjoy it. And sometimes you're lucky. You can just drive to a dam and there's a leopard waiting for you, which is spectacular. So thank you very much for that, Tingana, and I hope that my voice does not disturb you while you sleep. Although I think he's quite used to hearing people talking nonsense all the time and loudly. I can't believe our luck. I'm so excited to drive around and see what else we can find, which we'll probably do in a little while, because I think that Tingana is probably going to just rest here for a bit now. I think we were so lucky we got here just at the perfect moment, and we got to hear him soaring, we got to see him drinking, and now he's just getting annoyed by the flies. So perhaps the flies will annoy him a little bit longer and he'll get up and move. So I don't think we'll go anywhere just yet. We'll wait for some other keen safarians to come and watch him sleep in the shade, and they can stay with him while we go somewhere else.
Tingana still remains my favorite leopard from Juma, and Olorolo, Pride of Lions, also becoming a favorite for me. I've been very lucky. I saw them early this morning, but apparently not anywhere close to where they are. They seem to have gone about, 10 kilometers? 7.5, 8 miles from where I saw them this morning. James, do you recall they have walked that far? So we can see the big boy there, and you can see the dark mane. You've got the female on the left, and what we see there is the male, and it's one of the triangle boys. I'm not sure there are two of them, but I can see one clearly that has the dark mane there. The musketeers are always 4 of the triangle boys. So it could be one male there with female. I'm just going to double confirm that with my far lookers, but definitely that's one of the males there. So either, if that's the female he could be mating with that particular one. We've been here for some time. We haven't seen them rise up. Only when the elephant came so close, all the youngsters and the females rose up, but the male did not look bothered. He continued enjoying the nap. I still want to double confirm. Yeah, the two males there, that you can tell for a fact. So there are 2 of the triangle boys. Chats know the best times for cats to hunt. It always depends on the situation. Out of my own experience, I have noticed lions hunting better at night than during the day. I would say for 2 main reasons. They tend to see better at night than the herbivores. 1, 2, it's a lot cooler. So I would say more hunts for lions. I have picked them up or seen them at night than during the day. But also, Chatnoa, don't be surprised, even during the day, if an opportunity comes, we have seen lions going for zebras, we have seen them going for wildebeest, for warthogs. It could be any time. So for lions in general, I would say day or night. Leopards the same, but I'd say leopards are more successful at night than during the day. This particular pride of lions, the Olololo pride, has been known to be more successful at night. We'll watch them the whole day, the whole morning, the whole afternoon, and we leave them, we go back to the camp, come back the following day, we'll see them either with a buffalo or a giraffe or an eland. Because they also tend to move a lot at night. So when they're changing locations and they bump into something, chances are they'll always try and bring it down. And you notice the grass here on the edge, pretty close to where these lions are, it's very tall, very green, but of very poor nutrition value. It's like what you'd call sedge, and not even the elephants will bother feeding on it. They may once in a while, maybe to balance digestion, but it's always of very, very poor or low nutrition value. And the lions will take that to get the shade. Doing what they do best, especially the males, just lying flat pop. Sorry, Kirsty, what did the course sailors ask? Sorry? Because we can see some birds flying over there, and my first guess, those could be, there's a lilac-breasted roller and there are a few swifts. Yeah, those are all types of swifts. We've got so many types of swifts. You're seeing them flying over the lions. I do not know whether they have anything to do with the lions, or they're seeing them, or they want to like scare them or harass them. Maybe not, but possibly they can still see them. And all those are swift. I also saw a lilac-breasted roller fly over there. In grass like this, there's a possibility of seeing the yellow-throated longclaws, for example. Lots of longclaws here. I've also seen some barn swallows also flying on top. So the swifts and swallows combined, just enjoying the flight, and that's very good at sporting. And not very far from where that female is, there's a warthog that is feeding, but I don't think she can see it. And that's what most likely they had seen earlier when they all rose up. And the birds continue flying there. I'm not sure, maybe they're trying to intimidate those lions, but not really. We have seen lions eating some birds, for example, the guinea hens or francolins, some game birds, but this one should be too small for them, even to think of feeding on them. I do not know whether in the next life I would want to be a lion myself, just enjoying the snooze there. And these lions will continue enjoying, doing what they love, sleeping. Not sure Tingana is up or is also sleeping.
I feel like it's a theme now, David, of sleeping cats, but that's okay, because eventually they'll have to wake up. But like I said, luckily for us, we've already had a show from Tingana, which is unusual at this time of the day. I mean, we know that they like to be just laying around and not doing much. Senzo, do you know what I'm thinking? Because I haven't used the fleer yet. Are we allowed to go in fleer? Fleer. I need to learn how to say it properly. Am I saying it correctly, Senzo? Fleer. Fleer. We are cutting to fleer. You said very nicely. Very nicely. How cool is that? How cool is that? Now this is really epic. I've been watching a lot of Tristan stuff with all the leopards, and it's just incredible to see. It almost looks like he's a dappled leopard now, don't you think? For those of you that have got dappled dashhunts or perhaps dapple coloured horses, you know. It's quite an awesome coloration to see. And I particularly like it on a grey horse, if anybody's wondering. But it really does look like that. And those are, of course, just his rosettes that you can just slightly see. Well, that's fantastic that you see during the day. Nice dark purple being all the cooler spots, and that's, of course, where the tree has provided some shade, so the ground is not as hot. And you can see, look at the patches of heat just around him. And then, of course, Tingana giving off hot spots too, and those nice warm places. So that's awesome to see. So that must be quite nice, laying down on the cool ground, not only just being, you know, under the shadow of the tree, but also that he'll probably be nice and cool underneath. And there's a bit of a breeze. Okie dokie. Well, I think we can go back into normal mode now. There we go. We are back in normal colour. And welcome for all of you who have just joined us. How awesome is this? We've started our day off with so many cats. It can really only get better from here. Roshni, I'm overwhelmed with joy to be back in Djuma. I have missed it. I love the Sabi Sand. I think it really is an incredible place to come on a safari. And I was so excited when I went back to my room because I live in apartment number 8. And aka Taylor's Tavern is the sticker on my door. I'll have you know, with trading hours. People are ridiculous. At one point, I had all sorts of sweets and things like that, and I don't know, it was a joke, and they said it was like I had a shop going on in my room. I really didn't, though, I promise. And it was so nice to smell what my room smelled like. I can't describe what camp smells like, but there's definitely a scent, and it's not a bad smell. You know what I'm talking about, hey, Sanzo? When you go away for a long time, you just... I'm home in the DRC is basically what I did. And I picked Jake up from the Hoedspruit airport. So Hoedspruit is just a little town about an hour and let's call it roughly an hour, just over an hour away from camp. And there's a little airport there. And I picked him up and I said to him, I've actually got butterflies going back to work. And I always do. Every time I drive to the Gowrie Gate, I always get butterflies. I think it's just excitement. I love it here. And I'm just thrilled. Look at his face. I'm just thrilled to be back. That can't be comfortable, Tingana. Justin, I don't know when I'm on for bushwalk. I'm not scheduled tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I'll be in the vehicle. James was very kind to let me get all settled in the cars. So maybe tomorrow afternoon, perhaps the following morning, I'll be on bushwalk. So it will be interesting. Best be learning something new because there's not many plants to talk about. They're all gone. What does everyone talk about on bushwalk these days? Hey, Senzo?
Yeah, we talk about trees, leopards.
Leopards? You just walk animals. We're going to do big game approaches. We're going to find elephants and we're going to sit with them and watch them the whole day. That's my favourite thing to do. The Wahlberg's eagles are back. I've just seen one. Okay, well, it might be difficult now. It looks like a pale morph Wahlberg's eagle that's just flying above us. Hello, bird. Let's see if you can get it. You'll see it. No, it might. It's pretty much just... It's just circling. There it is. Kirsten, are you being serious? All those things that you just whispered in my ear, are they true? Apparently... Sorry, it's flying out of frame now, but we'll have... Oh, there it is. Apparently, there's huge drama. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Wahlberg has got a new lover, says Kirsten in Final Control. The bird saga now. I struggled to keep up with the leopard saga, but that's very cool. That's really nice to see one of our intra-African migrants. And to see the pale morph is very special too. Although we're lucky here, we actually seem to have a couple of pale morph Wahlberg's eagles, and I've seen a few pictures popping down in the south too of them. So perhaps they're just not as uncommon as we think. Beautifully just flying around looking for something to eat. Look at that head. Incredible camera work, Senzo. Thank you very much. That was what a wonderful view. And it's always nice when you get an opportunity to watch those raptors as they're soaring around and kind of just, you know, doing this. It's amazing, kind of like how when we're looking for animals, but up here, and they're doing the same thing down on the ground. So that was very nice to see. So that's what I love about when we spend a lot of time with these animals, is that you can sit here for ages, and even though Tingana is fast asleep and not really doing too much at the moment, somebody else appeared. And My first Wahlbergs of the season. Although I may have seen one in Kenya. Maybe. At least I could identify that one. Oh. I was waiting for this. James Richard. Here comes the prediction of the woodland kingfisher. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. Can you remind me? It was in September last year, wasn't it? Wasn't it like the 9th of September that we saw our first one? Or was it October? I can't even remember, but I know all of you do keep dates. 11th. Oh, does she guess that it's the 11th of November, or it was the 11th of November that we saw the first one? Surely not that late. That makes me laugh. So let me just tell you, because you know, Kirsten and I always chat like, someone described it quite funny one day. What did they say? Kirsten and Taylor chat like they're having cocktails. We're obviously not. So apparently it was the 11th of November. Louise has just said that was the day that she had her appendix taken out, but also everyone was very excited to see the woodland kingfisher. Lou, I'm sorry about that day, shame. That wasn't very nice. I haven't got a clue. I'm going to think about that one, James, but I'll give you an answer by the end of the drive. How's that? How does that sound? So the only thing now is that there are a few more people that have just got going on safari, and we've actually got 2 vehicles approaching us from the front, and then there is also another safari vehicle that will be arriving shortly. So this is most likely going to be our last sighting of Tingana for now. But we will most certainly come back at some point to revisit him, because I think we might just stick with Tingana tonight. You know me, I'm quite happy to sit with one leopard for the entire time. And what we will do is we'll go and maybe look for some elephants. Maybe I'll also get an incredible elephant encounter this afternoon, and then we'll come back to him. Sensor, I'm going to reverse very quickly. So I've obviously taken prime position now. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back a little bit. I'm just guiding everybody in. Tom and Patsy, they're so hilarious. I haven't seen them forever, but Sensor and I have got the best stories ever about Tom and Patsy. They are so lovely. Shall I shuffle like this? I think we're okay here. I'm going to do the side lean for now. Obviously, we've had an incredible view of this leopard, so I do want to make sure that everybody else gets a chance. So we'll let them shuffle on into position, and then once everybody's kind of got you, we will probably move on out. Now, it is pouring with rain in the Mara at the moment, so David is probably hiding away in his tent, in his canvas tent. But as you know, most of the time, the rain doesn't really hang around for too long. Okay, but it seems as though there's some other visitors at the pan, and of course you all love to listen to Mr. Henry.
There is a Nyala visiting the pan. This Nyala looks to me like it's had a very rough, dry season indeed. You can see that it is looking a little moth-eaten. It's looking a little thin, and maybe she's just a little bit old. But at least she is not being attacked here at the waterhole. There are some impalas in the far distance, and as we look at the clouds forming above this poor emaciated Nyala cow, she doesn't look so bad when she turns around actually. Rochelle, the chances of rain over the next little while are quite small. There's our Nyala. I think we'll probably only have decent rain at the beginning of November if we're very lucky. And between then and now, we'll probably have a few days where we may get an inch or two of water. That's about all. So it is going to be dry. The animals are adapted to dealing with this, and a little pan, like the one we're looking at here, will go a long way to helping the animals deal with the dry season. I'm just going to see if we can't find something else around there. Not even a terrapin today. That's a bit of a pity. Oh, there are some impala in the background. That's what I can see. James Richard, yes, I believe I gave my prediction for when the woodland kingfisher will arrive. James, do you think I can remember when I said the woodland kingfisher would arrive? The answer is no, I can't remember. So I'm just going to go with the 17th of November. Oh, there we go. 14th of November is what I said, James. So let's go with 14th of November for my call. And the only reason I say that is that I know that they came back on the 16th of November 2 years ago. I don't remember when they came back last year. So that's going to be my answer for the woodland kingfisher. There is a waterbuck. Can you believe the action going on at the nest cam? It's now stopped but its bottom sticking out. Now here come its horns. The excitement is almost overwhelming. My heart rate is pounding almost as much as the waterbuck bull's. He's looking into the Vuyatela Lodge thinking to himself, I wonder what that costs. Maybe I shall bring my wife over when it is our anniversary. I don't really think that's what he's thinking. I don't think they celebrate anniversaries, waterbuck. Ravinda, I have not seen any live kills at the nest cam lately. I'm not sure that we've had any. I think it's possible there have been many kills of small insects by the terrapins. I think it's possible that possibly the birds have killed a few worms. We've had Scoobert, the little blacksmith lapwing. That would be a wonderful sighting to have here on the nest cam, little Scooby wandering around there on the banks of the waterhole. But alas, he is not around right now. I'm sure he is somewhere nearby. Have we seen Scoobert, Kirsten, today? Apparently he is alive and well and down by the mud in the dam, just from whence these waterbuck bulls have come. 2 of them now, coming up for a drink. They don't look like they like waterbuck very much. At least they don't look very much like they like water, despite their names. Come on, come and have a drink. Nothing here going to eat you. No lions, no hyenas. Hosanna's too small. Yes, come on, dip your head down, have a drink. He's just posing is what he's doing. Aunt Jo, my favourite thing about the nest cam, as we give those waterbuck a bit of time to decide whether or not to have a drink, I think my favourite thing about the nest cam is the water. You know, it's, I think probably like for most people, gives me a sense of peace. Gives me a sense that everything is right with the world when I watch things like impala having a drink or things like these waterbuck coming up. I enjoy the little goings-on of the birds coming down to drink, the terrapins floating hither and yon, the odd sighting we've had of the water monitor lizard, and of course, with any luck, a little sighting of Scoob wandering about on the banks. I think those are the favourite things. It kind of all combined give me a nice sense of wilderness peace. Not so for the poor duiker that had been attacked by Hosanna in this area. There we go, 2 magnificent waterbuck bulls having a drink with a, well, he's just got a terrible fright at his own reflection. He thought to himself, good grief, do I really look that terrifying? Let me see if I look less terrifying around this side. Yeah, that's it, come on. You'll probably find it's the same reflection. Oh no, he says, I can't drink from a place with a reflection like that. Oh, he's coming closer. Maybe he just wants to display himself slightly more. There we are. Brave fellow. Look at the little heart-shaped nose tipping into the water every time he sucks some water up his esophagus. And of course, for all of these ruminants, this time, or the drinking time, is extremely important. And that is simply because the grass is so very dry that they do need to take a lot of water in order to gain any sort of nutrition from it. Those funny clouds up above that you can see, I think, are probably indicative, I hope, of the end of the cold front. I hope that we're not going to have yet another freezing cold morning. But I'm of the impression that we are going to have a wet winter, at least a wet summer. It normally comes after a pretty chilly winter. We had a pretty chilly winter, and it was an inconsistent winter weather-wise. And so I think we're going to have a wet summer. So that's going to be dry for the next little while. I don't think that's anything to worry about. All right, so it is raining in the Masai Mara, and that is why you're stuck with me staring at these waterbucks. Not that that's a bad thing. Being stuck with me might be, but looking at the waterbucks is not. Let's just have another look around here. Not much coming in from the inlet angle. Nothing coming in here from the western angle, should we say. I can hear some elephants calling from where I'm sitting here in the tent. Unfortunately, there is no way for me to show them to you. Now, one of their colleagues, of course, was killed by the Avoca males. No, it wasn't. It was killed by the Nkuhuma Pride yesterday evening. Not yesterday evening, probably 2 evenings ago, and then stolen by the Avoca boys early yesterday morning. And I don't think that those lions were still around this morning. I think they've gone back up towards the north. And where the 2 Nkuhuma lionesses were, that's sort of eyed out their meal most of Sunday afternoon, I'm not sure. But they are not on Djuma as far as we know. That's a very nice buttocks shot there of the waterbuck. And as I watch those buttocks disappear, some of the best buttocks in all the bush, let us go across to Taylor McCurdy, who I believe is driving down to Chitwa. Chitwa.
Yes, that's where we're going. I thought, well, I need to find elephants, and this is probably, well, Chitwa Dam's probably got the most water in it, so it's a good start. It is horribly bare. Look at this. Now, this is not from vehicles or anything driving around here. So essentially what I'm talking about is they look like there are about 3 or 4 main routes. What is flying? You've got that. What is that? It's got a stick, a snake. Okay, that's not important. Senzo, let me go closer. I'm going to try and roll closer. There's a raptor. It could be a snake. It could also be a stick. Probably a stick. Can you see it in the gap? See that marula tree? I just don't want to move too much. Let's get an ID on this bird. Is it too far there? It is a Wahlberg's eagle. It looks like that's too small, unfortunately, to be a. Now I'm trying to work out. Loud noises for those of you that watch funny movies. So there we go. Beautiful Wahlberg's eagle, as well as the original dark chocolate morph. They're not called the dark chocolate morph, they're just brown. We got another one. Oh, fish eagle. Oh, fight. Oh my goodness, look at that. What's going on? The fish eagle flew in and got whatever bird that is. It must be another. No, that one looks bigger. Let's go a little bit closer. What do you think, Sinza? Because I can't see what's going on right now. We do have low signal, so we're going to try it out. I do apologize for any little gremlins that may occur. Ah, okay, we all sorted. What was that all about? That was incredible. So there's 3 raptors, fish eagle. One was definitely a Wahlberg's eagle. Now, that looks bigger than what we've just seen, though. Is it going to get the... No? That looks like... I'm going to just stop here because it's going to fly around. That looks like a tawny eagle now that's flying off to the left. So, that looked much, much bigger and had a very, very sort of yellow cere. And I also saw a yellow eye very, very quickly. I whipped out my binoculars and had a quick look before it flew away. That was incredible to see all that happen. So 3 different bird species there. I mean, I stand in a correction if the first one we saw was actually another tawny eagle, but I don't think so. And there's, of course, our fish eagle. Wonderful. Okay, let's go around. We'll get another view of a fish eagle. All the action happening. Thank goodness, because if I'd had to speak about plants today, that would have been disastrous. I mean, I can't even remember what that tree is that the fish eagle's sitting in. Just jokes. You know, you forget some things, but can't be forgetting marula trees and knob thorns and things like that. It's turned into a birding safari now. Hello, fish eagly. Ah, Lara Moore, it could well have something to do with Mrs. Wahlberg's saga. Can you imagine? Is she having a fling with a tawny eagle? And has Mr. Fish Eagle had enough of the drama unfolding here at Chitwa Chitwa? Because this is, of course, where the fish eagles live. They are such incredible birds. And enormous. So, you saw the first bird that flew away was dwarfed in size in comparison to this fish eagle. And once the next eagle sort of flew away, did that happen? Yes, yeah. The tawny eagle was much, much bigger. And there's not too much size difference between the two. A little bit. The fish eagle's got a much bigger wingspan, of course, but in terms of their height, I think it would only be a few centimeters. So also quite territorial birds, normally just amongst other fish eagles, but I suppose if there are quite a few raptors around, they need to beware. And a tawny eagle and a Wahlberg's eagle will also scavenge. Is that bird coming back for revenge? Did it not like what happened earlier? Is there going to be an aerial attack? Stay tuned for Safari Live. Just joking, I'm still doing the gauntlet. Which was ingrained in all of us, hey Senzo? Creating jeopardy. Leah, I should have thought of that one. You weren't. You said, these are the days of our birds. I like that. That's fantastic. I wish I'd thought of it, though. I might just pretend that you never even said it. No, I'm joking. Of course, you get all the credit, Leah. Well done. That's fantastic. So, yeah, very interesting. I mean, I've seen tawny eagles eating all sorts of things, and it wouldn't surprise me if something like this fish eagle were to drag out a massive catfish, one of the many that live in Chitwa Chitwa Dam. And because I suppose food is few and far between, there don't seem to be too many rodents around at the moment. We typically see an abundance of them. It's going to fly, hopefully. It's going to take off. Typically we see, a boost in their populations over the rainy season. So when everything is nice and green, when there's lots of food around, at night you'll see the odd rodent scurrying about. But again, they've got to be careful now, just like the Daker and Steenbok. There's not much cover for them. So they're going to have to start feeding on other things, and I wouldn't be surprised to witness a tawny eagle or a Wahlberg's eagle eating a fish. Not that they'd necessarily catch it themselves, but if there was one dead on the side of a river or next to a dam, birds are not going to say no. Just like most of the predators out here, they're opportunistic feeders, and they will take whatever they can get. That's great, though. Shall we venture on down to the dam? Hey, Senzo? I think so. I was applying lip lubricant because you won't believe it. Johannesburg is a wonderful place. Can you say that? However, the climate is so different. It is so dry, shriveled up like a prune after the beautiful, warm weather we're experiencing in Kenya. Now I've got to start all over again. So I'll be applying much chapstick all day long. Okay, what's happening? I wonder how big the little hippos have got now. Have they grown from a potamus to a hippopotamus? We'll find out. Are they still sitting out on the banks? Hey, Senzo, or not? Oh, I suppose you guys haven't been here for some time. It's fine, I'm back. Don't worry, I'm back. You know me, I'll live at this dam. This is my one of my favorite places. No, it looks like all the hippos might be in the water, but we'll sneak onto the dam wall first. Unless we get a little view, then, we'll see how it goes. We shall see. Virtual starlings. Hello, birdies. So good to see all the animals again. Okay. Yeah, down we go. Oh, angry lapwings, my favorite. I'll show you all these things that I'm sort of just shouting out as I go along the dam wall. Okay, are you ready? Dun, 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 dun. And then we've also got perfect view for the not the honey badgers, for the wild dogs to come running on down, and then we can watch them. Well, there they are. Now I'm trying to also see. Oh, there's a glare. I'm wiping my monitor now. Hello hippos, all just relaxing in the water as they normally do. What's going on back there, Senzo? You see the wake? Now that's there, the water's moving. There might be some action with it. Go down, drop down a little bit. There we go. There we Yeah, I just saw there was basically a wake of water from both opposite directions going towards one another. So I thought it may have been two hippos, propelling off of the ground. And I thought maybe we were going to get some action in the form of fighting hippos, but that's not the case. It was just one moving around. And that's a little wake. You must see them when they charge. It's pretty spectacular. Is it Dina K? Go away! Remember we did the Go Away Bird Challenge, and I think Dina's was my favorite. You're quite happy that I'm back at Chitwan. You said that you've missed it. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got excited there. I heard a sound and I thought it's a woodpecker, but it's not. It's just somebody hammering in some nails. So hippos are just, I suppose, up to what they normally do, just relaxing, enjoying themselves. The dam has dried out a lot. The last time I was here, the water was all the way to the edge of the bank that we're sitting on at the moment. So you can sort of see how it's dropped. And that island, all of these things were underwater. The tree was underwater, completely underwater. The hippos were using it as a scratching post, and there was a small section of it that they could climb out and it was a slither of the bank, if you will, that they could walk around on. But a majority of it was all hidden away under the water. Crazy, hey? How much water is lost, and that's not, of course, just because of evaporation, but all the animals are drinking the water too. And when big herds of buffalo and elephants come on down, they can really do some damage. But it seems as though the grey skies in the Mara have finally started to disappear now, and there is a gap in the rain, and David is sitting with the elephants.
Well, the elephants we see there in that herd, right in the middle, there's something going on that I cannot understand. There's a lot of trumpeting that I hear from where we are, a lot of rumbling going on, but I do not know exactly what could be happening there. I'm going to wait because they have all stopped moving. Initially they were walking, they stopped, and they all surrounded, like one of them that was under kind of duress, and it has gone quiet. Everything looks calm now at the moment. So that baby is not getting anywhere close to that big herd, and you may be finding out what could exactly be happening at the moment. We've got friends of ours, some game rangers who might be wanting to say hello. It's a pretty young baby there. I'm not sure that was the problem in the middle of that herd. Two young babies, but with loud trumpeting going on, but all is quiet at the moment. Just our friends of ours just saying hello, hello. Some game rangers. Now all seems to be quiet one more time. I would really want to know what was going on, and maybe that particular elephant that has a torn ear on the left, I'm trying to wonder or imagine if this could be the matriarch, because she seemed to be in the center of everything that was happening there for like a whole 3.5 minutes. Kelina, while it could be, you never know. When an elephant's giving birth, I have only seen once in my career, or in my life in the bush. And if that happens, it has been noted and documented by many guides. They'll always go around the one giving birth and they just shield it, from any other. But we'll be finding out what could have been happening or what's happening at the moment. But that's the possibility, and I like your comment. Any one of them could have been giving birth. Who knows? And looking on the grass now, it's not blowing like when we had the lions before. The wind have slowed down, and for some moment we disappeared. You know, we went missing in action because very big storms were building up and had some light showers, and we wondered what may happen, and we brought all the canvas and the panels down, and we had to protect our camera equipment, and we moved to a different area where we don't have even a single drop of rain. Very majestic elephants they have always been as they move through the grass. They'll pick what they want. Sometimes you'll not be able to see what they pick, but definitely it's more of the green grass than the tall grass that is not of much nutrition value at the moment. So seeing the matriarch or identifying the matriarch here could be rather difficult. It's not always necessarily the big elephant. It could be small in size, but in general is always the oldest in the herd that will be the leader of the whole group. A few cars just passing, and you hear them coming, joining us to see the Ellies here. It's a big one by any standard. I do not know why it has a Tony on the left, but again, many things do happen. It could be genetic, could have been torn by a bush or a thorn, or sometimes when they play fight, a tusk might have gone through the ear there, and it'll definitely grow to old age in that condition unless it is seen by a vet surgeon who might try and stitch it. And I don't think it's doing any damage to this early here, having it like that, because the ears mainly will have or will be carrying the blood vessels for cooling, and so long as they're able to flap at the pace and the time it wants to, it's fine. Challenges on Ellies will come when, for example, they lose either a tusk or they get a trunk being cut by something. But at Tony, I've seen one that had like a whole ear torn into two and had like two flaps of ears, and they could flap, interestingly, at the same time as much as they were separate. Interesting to see this bull in front of the whole group, but you notice it's not anywhere close to the females which have the young ones. It's on the very edge. And this is the beauty of the Mara Triangle. Very peaceful. Lots of tranquility on these Ellies as they feed. Where in the background you can see some villages, but that's way outside the game reserve or the Mara Triangle. Once in a while we had some major conflict between the people and the wildlife here, and most of the elephants having no fence between the people and the wildlife here. Once in a while they'll crisscross looking for different pasture, and if people are walking by mistake and they bump into them, we'll have the game rangers intervening to help diffuse the situation. And more so at night when the Ellies will be moving from one area to the other, and then human beings, maybe, I'm not sure who sees better between us and them, but we have had issues of elephants or human wildlife conflict between elephants and the locals more at night than during the day. That one looks like it has two colors, and I guess at one point it must have been mud bathing, or it was like, you know, wallowing in the mud. Sorry, what did Puma ask? Cast him, is that? Well, antelopes may or may not hang around the elephants for protection, but they have hung around the elephant. The times we have very huge drought in the country, you know, in the whole of East Africa, and we have seen elephants, I mean the antelopes hanging around with the elephants, not for protection, but they have known with time that elephants are very intelligent animals, and when it's so dry and the rivers have dried up, the elephants have been known to go to riverbeds, and they have been known to dig for water. So you'll see, you know, antelopes getting so close to elephants, just waiting for them to dig water, or elephants leading them to places they could get water. If, say, it's a spring or a well that has dried up, they have been known to use their feet and trunks and tusks to dig for water. But when it comes to protection, not really that you'll see antelopes getting so close to elephants. Very good job, James. Getting beautiful sky in the background there. It's so quiet. The only thing you hear is these ellies pulling the grass and the plants from the ground to their mouth. I was talking earlier of the one behind, the one just about to pass. The big mama there that has two colors, meaning that at one point during the day, maybe because of the heat of the day, it must have been mud wallowing somewhere. And the mud also will help them to keep the flies or any bugs away from the bodies. And you can tell the tusks don't look very clean, meaning that they must have spent a lot of time in the water. Gary, do elephants ever get tooth? I would say yes, but how would we know? It's difficult to tell. You know, elephant got 6 sets of teeth, and I'm sure most likely before they get the toothache, you know, that particular set is out. Unlike we human beings who will eat lots of sugar and lots of processed food, elephants are strictly herbivores. I do not see any concern in them that would have any dental issues to the elephant. What they eat, I would say, is clean, is what they are able to chew. A set every 3, 4, 5 years is out. I highly doubt they get toothache. They won't get any refined food, not a lot of sugar, not fizzy drinks like what we keep having every now and then, and we keep seeing dentists. I think elephants, I would not say for a fact, I do not know 100%, but I would say I doubt they really get toothaches because they eat clean, they eat fresh, they eat natural, they eat good. I would try to imagine seeing an elephant with a toothpick, how it would be behaving, maybe trying to scratch its jaw against a tree, you know, indicating a lot of pain, you know, on the jaw or on the tooth. I wouldn't know how they would behave, but I would not know for a fact whether they get toothaches or not. But if I do a wild guess, I would say no. All right, Alice, we'll leave you. Keep enjoying the food around this area, and hopefully you'll be going to a stream that's not very far from here for a drink. Time to have a poo break. They eat so much and they also drop so much. Boom, one more. That's it. Well, you need to keep eating to drop more. See some youngsters, and always they'll try and keep the youngsters right in the middle and not outside the herd to make sure they're quite safe. Right, we're going to move on and find out what could be ahead of us. All right, James, good to go? And hopefully we don't get more storm, but we are all prepared if it's going to rain. We're going to put the flaps down again. Wonderful. The Mara is always very good with the ellies. And one advantage here that we got is the openness. You know, you can spot ellies, say, sometimes even from 2 or 3 kilometers away. So the migration is yet to get where we are. We are hoping once the wildebeest will come, they'll be eating all this grass here and making it very short. Elephants will try as much as possible to avoid eating it. I'm not sure what my friends could be watching here. There could be something interesting here, and maybe you might be seeing a rhino, maybe. Let's find out. We could be very lucky. Having seen the lions a few minutes ago, having seen elephants, having now maybe a black rhino at one point. James, you're going to tell me what the best position for you, if this guy might come down. Yes, it's a black rhino. Let's find out what's the best location for James. James, I think what we're going to do... Anybody behind me, James? Huh? Two vehicles behind me? Alrighty. Let me get a different place. And we're going to try and get some good elevation. Raise the camera for James, for him to be able to put the rhino on the screen. But I'm very excited. I haven't seen black rhino for quite some time. We're going to go up there and see how that we shall be. Can I back up, James? Just hold on for a minute. If we raise the level of the camera, we might be likely to see it. How is it, James? Can I come back? Just hold him on for a minute. Keep holding on. Okay, let me see if I get some elevation fear for James. It might help. Maybe yes, maybe not. Let's see how things will be. James, let me know. Okay. It's a black rhino for a fact. The only challenge is I'm not sure how many vehicles will be passing on all right. How is that, James? Anything? All right, let's see what we can get from here. We might have a few vehicles passing every now and then, but maybe just 2 vehicles for now. All right, let's first get to Taylor as we find out what could be happening with the audio, and you'll be able to see the rhino much later.
Well, welcome back. Okay, please don't all attack me now because I've left Chitwa. I'm going back, I promise. But I just wanted to have a little scratch around to see if we could find any elephants. We haven't. We've seen 2 scrub hares run out on the road and then run back and disappear into what's left of the grass. Unusual. Also, I suppose it's a little bit cooler, so maybe some of these animals become a bit more active. So we're going to just venture on round. We're going to go back towards the dam, but we're going to go on the other side, because while we were sitting up on the dam wall, I did see the pod of hippos. So the groups look like they split into about 3 different groups today, and the group that was all the way down on the far sort of eastern end looked to be a little bit more active. So maybe we'll go sit that side and we'll get them splashing around in nice beautiful golden light. Well, that's the idea anyways. And then we also need to do some things. I brought a present back from holiday. Who's excited? Maurice has a friend. Maurice the elephant, in case you don't know who I'm talking about, is my safari companion. Now Maurice the elephant has now got a friend, and I need help in naming him. So I'm going to pitch this to all of you now. Who of all my young friends, so 12 and under, who's watching? Because I need your help today. I need your help in naming the animals. So anybody that does have any of their kids that are or have joined them on the safari, please let me know so that we can have a chat to them and we can get them involved in naming Maurice's friend. And I'll show you just now. I have to stop though. It's I don't know how to say this. Maurice is dwarfed next to his new friend. I'm so excited. He's so cool. Like, okay, yeah, I'll show you just now though. Oh, I can hear mongoose. Hello. There they are. And they look like young ones. There's some dwarf mongoose. I can hear them. No, come back. They're all running away now. Pesky mongoose. There's one. Okay, who's ready for that annoying squeaking noise? Come back. Come back, mongoose. You're not supposed to call the animals, but I feel like for mongoose, we can make an exception. All just playing around, but not really wanting to play with us. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to roll on down now because I can see some Inyala. Will we make it in the sand? Woo! No, sand is really thick and now we are hopefully not stuck. Yeah. Oh goodness, it's really thick. Okay, now I can roll and go silently. Hello. There they go away, bird. Very unimpressed with me. So while you look at the Inyala, I'm going to get you Maurice's new friend. I don't know why I whispered that. I've been watching a lot of Harry Potter and I found that I speak like Voldemort now. There they go, nibbling on what's left of the leaves. It doesn't seem to be really much there at all. Yay! Mita, who is 9 years old, is watching, so that's fantastic. Mita, you're going to have to help. We're going to have to ask your mom to help you, and you're going to have to send in all your suggestions. Are you ready to meet my new friend, Maurice's new friend? He's actually not my friend yet, because I don't even know what his name is. But here, yeah. Senzel's waiting for the great reveal. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen, and Mita, for the naming of Maurice's new companion? Look how cool he is. He's so big. Pradeep and Samuel, you're also watching, my young friends. I'm so excited. So the three of you are going to have to try and name the minion. I have a minion. How awesome is that? Hello. He's very shy and very shocked, as you can see me on the show. If only Maurice's face could move. Very white teeth. This is so funny. Yeah, he's like, exactly, Kirsty. I don't think he wants to be here. He's just like, I've been abducted. Take me back to my family. But anyways, okay, so Samuel, Pradeep, and Meeta, I need you to send in your suggestions as to what we are going to call Maurice's new friend. And all the other kids that are watching, send them through. Okay, so very cool. He's huge. He's got little legs. Look how small his feet are. We need James's music now. Likes to dance. He's a dancing. Jesse said, Jesse, you said you were not expecting that. No, I know no one was expecting that. Okay, I'm going to put Minion, Maurice. They can be covered because that yellow is a very distracting color on Safari, and then you won't, none of you will be paying attention. Let's drive to the dam. Let's go have a look at the dam, and we'll just sit and wait. We'll give you an opportunity to now all send in your name, said Jason. Tula, Ann, and Willow are also watching today. I'm so excited that I feel like I'm really lucky to have you all aboard my safari vehicle this afternoon. That's fantastic. That's so cool. Oh, hang on. There's Kudu. Hello. I was going to the dam, but now I'm obviously getting horribly distracted with all these wonderful antelope. Meeta, you've suggested banana as a name. We shall put that onto the list. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to write them down. So while you look at that beautiful kudu, that's actually very nice, with the golden lights coming through. There's a whole family of them, and then of course some impala as well. I'm going to find a page in my book that I have not used. You can hear me. And we'll have Tina. No, you've just ruined my childhood. Tina's just informed me that minions are maggots. I'm so sad. I did not realize that minions were maggots. Now I can't breathe. No, you've literally just, not my childhood, my teenage years, because I was a little bit older than when Despicable Me came out. That is devastating. Are they really maggots? How did I not know this? What was Gru housing inside his laboratory that he had so many maggots? Had an animal died in there? Like, I'm really confused now. Okay, well, we've got one name suggestion. And also, I'm now horrified that I have a maggot in the car with me. Should it be Maggie the Minion? Also, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So, it can be either name. I don't mind. But I do like Banana, and Maurice. Very nice. Okay, so since all of our animals disappeared from us, we shall drive. The maggot's legs are sticking out. I can't believe that. No, surely not. Kirsty, did you know that? Did anyone in Final Control know this? I don't know. I think we need to do some Googling and we need to find out. But Tina, also, if you're right, I'm shocked. Pradeep, great suggestion for you, which I shall write down in a heartbeat. You've said Mr. Yellow the Minion. Fantastic. So, banana from Meeta, Mr. Yellow from Pradeep. Pradeep, we must find you a squirrel, because I feel like that's just our thing. Oh, Senzo, well spotted. Senzo saw one. There it is. It's still there. It's running. There's two. Is it? No, the other one could just be a stick. I don't know now. No. Where's it gone? Maybe it will pop up again, Pradeep. This squirrel's just for you, by the way. Where is it? And unfortunately, there's no sounds that coax a squirrel out. I'm going to write all these down. Tula, and you said eyeball. Okay. Chucky. No, Chucky. Chucky says Tula Ann, and Willow says eyeball. Mr. and then Pradeep. Pradeep, you said Mr. Yellow. And then a few of you are all commenting saying if there is some truth to the minions actually being maggots, that Maggie is quite nice. I can't name it Maggie though. I've now given the naming up to all my wonderful young friends. So it's up to them. It can always have a nickname though. I mean, my nicknames are ridiculous. I have a new one. Are you ready for it? Sarki. So a group of my friends call me Sarki now as well, which is hysterical. Also, oh, Senzo, squirrel, 12 o'clock. Pradeep, you're watching. Ah, there it goes. There it is. Hello, squirrel. For those of you that don't understand what's going on right now, Pradeep loves squirrels so much. He always asks for squirrels. So there's a squirrel. Just a slither of it. What are you doing? Scent marking. Something is intriguing it. His nose is working overtime. Oh, that's very interesting. Not licking it or anything, really just smelling. Maybe there was another squirrel that was there. Lots of drama that could potentially be going on between all these animals that we have absolutely no idea about. Well, I suppose a squirrel does have a keen sense of smell. Very, very busy. I wonder what it was. Oh, didn't like that. Yeah, it's got itself all ruffled up. Looks like all its hair is standing up on its tail. Well, they do have quite bristly tails. That's actually a very abstract view of a squirrel. Quite cool. Make for great screenshots, so make sure that you share them with all of us. I'm glad, Pradeep, that I've made your day. Well, hopefully I've made your day with this squirrel. Or as Sebastian would say, squirrel. Squirrel. Because of his French accent. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is that we've got the world's population of Egyptian geese. As you can see, they are, I'm going to try to count them very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to guess because I always give a few more. There's like 30 Egyptian geese here. I mean, that's a bit excessive. But anyways, they are a nuisance species of bird in South Africa. We often talk about them. And I bet that there are some of the reasons as to why there's no grass around the water's edge anymore. And imagine these birds need to escape. They can fly. They're lucky enough that they can fly. But they can also dash onto the water and try and evade any predators. So naturally they don't want to move too far away from water. So they'll, and just like all the other animals, so they'll graze the grass right at the water's edge first. But they'll just decimate grasslands. Crazy stuff. Now, I heard rumblings of David mentioning something along the lines of a rhino. I wonder if he's managed to find that big old grey creature.
Well, talking of the Egyptian geese, hopefully the mystery of the disappeared goslings was sorted. If not, Castor would be happy to know, if you'd ask James Henry, whatever came up of the missing goslings. And we got a black rhino here, and as I was telling you before, we came to a raised or an elevated point where James could be able to capture it. It's facing the other way, and we're just hoping it's going to turn and we can see the face, or at least the two horns. Two species of rhinos in Kenya, the black rhino and the white. This is black, and I'm sure you all know it's not about the color that tells them apart. It's the shape of the mouth. And the black rhino, what we have now on the screen, having a triangle-like shaped mouth. That's one major difference. And the other important difference is their feeding habits. the black rhinos basically being browsers. And you'd wonder what she is doing there. And she is basically not eating grass, but occasionally they'll come out of the bushes or thickets or forests, and they'll be picking small plants or small little shrubs just to supplement their diet. You can see how she keeps moving her ears. And I've always thought the black rhinos got better, hearing senses than vision, than sight rather. A third difference maybe between the black and the white rhinos, these ones don't tend to go like, they're not very social, unlike the whites. The whites you see male and a female together. And Jennifer, you say you love rhinos, and I'm also very excited. I haven't seen a rhino for a long time. Jennifer, thank you very much. Great comment. And again, to all of you, keep sending your comments, any questions, #SafariLive, and we'll be enjoying the beauty of the wilderness together. There had been issues of poaching way back, maybe I would say not anymore. And for the game rangers to keep track of the rhinos, they have been doing some notches on the ears, so you might see a particular rhino having maybe one notch or two on the ears, and that way the game rangers are able to keep track of the rhinos. Between Kenya and Tanzania, we are in the Mara Triangle, and we border another national park called Serengeti, and between the two there is no fence, and these rhinos will always crisscross in each country, but the game rangers always work together, and they're able to know who is where. So the rhinos, or the horns that you just saw there, is the precious thing to the poachers, which they kept killing them for. David, I would say the sight of rhinos is not as good as their hearing. So if I'm given on a scale of 0 to 10, I would say their hearing, especially the black rhinos, I would give them 9 out of 10. And for sight, I would give them a 6 out of 10. Not that they don't see, but they don't see as well. Sometimes we have always thought they see images in multiples, but for hearing, they're very, very quick. If you just break a bush, if you're near a black rhino, you'll notice how it twitches or flicks the ears very, very quickly. And sometimes it will look and maybe look in the wrong direction. But once it turns the ear, you'll see the ear tends to zero in from where the sound is coming from. Interesting how poaching has been contained by the game rangers. Otherwise, the last I heard, the rhino hound was very expensive. James Richard, I mean, rhinos, people have always associated them with good luck. The tribe or the village it comes from, we have always thought if you see a rhino and the rhino does not cause any damage, either to the villager or it doesn't come through your garden, when you go back home and you share the news with someone, it used to be in a few days' time, a child would be born in the village, and more so in the very family you come from. And that's way back. I'm not sure whether they still believe it in the village. I left the village and moved to the city, so I want to believe it could be the same. And I think we got some ox pickers that just landed on her, and she immediately moved up, finding out who it is trying to get, a ride on me, and she definitely can tell they are of no concern. If anything, they'll be getting any bugs, any ticks or mites on her. So they could either be red, billed oxpeckers, or the yellow-billed oxpeckers. She hasn't moved much from where she is. Sorry, Arisa, do rhinos do what, Casti? Well, that's a very interesting question, Elisa. And personally, I haven't seen a rhino crossing the Mara River. Buffaloes, elephants, and I'm sure, Elisa, the wildebeest during the migration. It's always such a spectacle to see them crossing the Mara River. But I would imagine they do, and they will do that looking for food from one side of the river to the other. But personally, I haven't seen rhinos once crossing the Mara River. But elephants, every other day, they'll be crossing the river. Buffaloes, not as much, but I would say I haven't seen any one rhino crossing the Mara River. Maybe they're not as high as you can see the elephants or the buffaloes. Most of the elephants are tall animals. It's very easy for them just to go through the river. When they have their babies, they'll give them small little pushes. But I would say rhinos don't want to take any chances. And as I said earlier, maybe not having very, very good sight, they wouldn't want maybe to risk crocodiles in the water. Elephants will not be bothered, with crocodiles in the water. And just going back to our rhino there, I do not know where she could be heading into now. And being browsers, as I said earlier, she might end up going to the thicket for the night as it's getting a little dark. But she has stayed in the same place for a long time. We might have a car pass on our right. Hopefully we're going to miss it. Sorry about that. We have all the places to be where we are. The only downside is we're on the other side of the road. Once in a while, if a car passes, it will appear on the screen. So she must be feeding on small little green plants in that area she is. And being a browser, definitely she will not be eating any grass. If you look carefully, she is not touching the tall grass there. So she'll uproot small plants. I can't see very well from here. The oxpeckers still looking for something to peck on the back of the rhino. Any mites, any ticks on it. That's what they'll be feeding on. Not sure whether to call that a symbiotic relationship or an interest-specific relationship between the two. But I would say both of them benefit. I don't know how much damage the ticks or the mites will be doing to the rhino, but definitely the oxpeckers are being very well fed. So she'll always eat, stop, and maybe listen, because the oxpeckers keep changing their positions on her back. I'm trying to imagine, because of her thick skin, does she feel them, when they walk on her back? I don't know how thick a rhino skin is, but the question would be, would she be able to feel them as they're lightweight, the birds, the oxpeckers, and would she be feeling their weight as they just, maybe when they try and pluck the ticks out, there could be a little feeling there, but as they walk, Lou monkey tick, I would say yes, animals just like humans would get the fever. The level of the fever they get, unlike human beings, I do not know. But at a particular time, because of the parasite, that they get in the bodies, I'm sure the antibodies will always shoot up in the bloodstream to try and fight the parasites, and in the process get the fever. I would say they always get it. How and what level, I have no idea, but I would say yes, they do get it. Like rhinos being mammals, just like us, though definitely maybe we have so many commonalities with them than differences. I remember a friend of mine was bitten by a tick, but it was a very small tick, and how it ended up on his armpit, I have no idea, and he kept scratching his armpit, but he could never see the tick until when he got sick and got the fever. I would say, with the two different species of rhinos that we got in Africa, this one we have on your screen is the black rhino. But when they're mating, it's very possible to see two together, or when you see a cow with a calf. Sometimes you might see three or four together, but I would say the other black rhinos. The black rhinos are more solitary, but again, as I said, if they're mating, you'll see two together, or you might see a male and a female and a calf together, a bull and a cow and a calf together. But for the white rhinos, There's a time I saw about 7 of them together. So yes, they travel in groups, and also they do not travel in groups depending on the species or depending on the time of rhinos. That's very beautiful to have all those oxpeckers right there. Most likely there's more concentration of the bugs there than at the back. I don't see them pulling out. Yeah, that one is rather busy trying to peck and removing the bugs. And this oxpecker's got beaks that are like scissors. And the rhino just flicking his tail, not knowing whether, she wants the oxpeckers out or is a reflex, like most animals. And the ears will keep twitching and changing directions, maybe to pick any sound. We are the only people here, so I'm sure it's very, very quiet. So whatever she has been eating there, it must be something she's really enjoying. I can't see it, but you can tell she's picking something and just chewing. Hello, rhino. And if you look carefully at the ears, you can see the notches that I was talking about. And this is what the game rangers will use to know who is around, who they have not seen for a long time. Way back in certain areas, they'll also put some small little chips on the ears, and they're able to collect some data on their movement. Or if one goes missing for quite some time, they maybe activate the chip to know where it is. I'm very happy now. The game rangers are just doing a wonderful job to make sure poaching has been contained, and we are able to bring to you such beautiful wilderness all the way from the Mara Triangle in Kenya and also from South Africa. How peaceful this rhino is here. I don't know why she is twitching the ears. I don't think there could be any flies at the moment. And you can tell the wind has completely stopped now. I'm just guessing it's a she, or it could be a he, not sure, but either way, she or he is a big rhino. Alright, the beautiful Taylor Mkuri and Juma want to talk to us.
Oh, David. I'm sorry, I've always wanted to do that. Every time he says the oh beautiful Taylor. But now I don't have a long ponytail to do a real hair flick and then greet you. Oh, I'm obviously just being stupid, everybody. So we've left Chitwa because I'd like to follow up on Tingano again and see what he's up to. So we're going to go and investigate and see if there's anyone still there. From what I could gather on the radio, it doesn't sound like... Maybe there's one person there now, but I can't get hold of them, so we'll find out shortly. We'll have to creep on in as to not disturb them. And then, blast from the past, also driving around, and the next minute I see, after we were talking about the Egyptian geese and things like that, I see this person was like sitting like this, like looking at me, and I'm like, they're not looking at the Egyptian geese, surely not. They can see from a distance what bird that was. And then I said to Senzo, I was like, who's that? And I'm starting to name like all the Simambili ranges, and I'm like, no. The guy I used to work with like a long time ago at Sabi Sabi. So I was like, oh, how's it? So weird. It's amazing who you can bump into in the sands. So so yeah, but we're not far, so don't worry, I'll actually get you animals. I'm speaking all the nonsense now while we try and get to this bush strike. Can you see it? Do you see it, Senzo? Look at that! Look at that. That's incredible. Okay, game, everybody. Which bush strike is this? Hashtag SafariLive. Get your answers in. Let's see who can remember. Now, they're one of the most incredible birds to see out here in the sands, and they're quite shy. So you often hear them and you often see them. However, you don't normally get a view for them, well, for very long. And out in the open. So I hope you took note of the big robust bill. For me, that's the easiest way to tell the difference between the two common bush shrike species that we get here. They're very, very cool. I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, is that a weaver? What's that flying there? And I was like, that's a huge weaver. You know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of weavers. It was massive. And then it wasn't obviously a weaver, it was a bushwhack of sorts. So I look forward to whoever gets the answer right first, you get bragging rights. I mean, I like to get bragging rights often. That's my favorite. Okay, now I can't see. Now I need to do the, even though I'm wearing a hat. Noriko, great guess. Fantastic guess. You said a green feathered bushwhack. Almost. Close though. They've both got green feathers. Station unlocked with Tingana. May I approach? Mafuta, well done. You won the bragging rights. You said a grey-headed bushwhack. It is indeed the grey-headed bushwhack. Did they say yes? I'm just going to go. I think they said yes. I can't really hear what anyone just said because my voice is louder than theirs. Ha ha ha. As normal. So here we go, Mafuta. So again, like I said, very, very easy to identify because it's firstly, it's much larger, much more robust in size than the orange-breasted bushwhack. It does have a slight tinge of orange on its breast, but don't let that fool you. Look at that beak. And it's got a serious, serious sharp tip on the end. They eat snakes, they eat lizards, they eat rodents, they eat all sorts of things. They don't eat any fruit. So, whereas the orange-breasted bushwhack is, like I said, slightly more petite, still got the same color plumage, however, but that beak isn't as sort of heavy. And then, of course, the grey head on the grey-headed bushwhack is the most obvious way, but it can be tricky. And you all know me, I mess up the birds all the time. Okay, let's see. I think he could still be sleeping because I can't see a head up just. I have to get a sneak peek before I show you. No, I don't think it's going to be the greatest view, but that's all right. I don't know if we're going to get a view at all. Oh, he has got his head up. Since I know it's not fantastic, let's just sit back. But you can sort of see in between the dead trees. His head, I think it's about there. It's very difficult to see because we're kind of staring straight into the sun. So I'm going to duck. Here he is. So you can just see him laying in the grass. He's looking up though, so that's great news. We just keep nailing it in terms of the time that we arrive at the animals. How great. Oh, he's such a special animal, this. It's... oh. Literally took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say, Tingana. I don't know what I was going to say now. Oh well. Probably was nonsense anyways. And it's a beautiful coloration that we've got now too with a little bit of the guarri tree that's just entering in frame, bringing in that nice green, surrounded by the backlit golden light. Very, very pretty. I always think at this time of the year you get the most dramatic photos, especially when you get the cats walking straight towards you and you can line up nicely with the autumn colours. I think I've used autumn and winter today. Can't use those words anymore. So again, this is typically the time that you'll hear leopards starting to soar. So if he's been doing it all day, I think we're going to be in for a real treat tonight. Michelle, you said you like the sound of the call. That rasping sound is just very, very special to hear, especially from a big male leopard like this. Like I said, you don't just hear it, you feel it. When a lion roars, you definitely you feel it a lot more. But of course, their roars are exceptionally loud and can travel many, many miles, whereas a leopard's doesn't quite travel anywhere near the distance that a lion's roar can. However, when you're close enough, and we are very fortunate to be so close to these animals in the Sabi Sand, you can feel the vibrations in the vehicle, which is so special. And now kind of just nodding off. Looks like my mum when she falls asleep on the couch. I've just said that because I know my parents are watching today. Oh, Megan, what do I think Tingana dreams about? I reckon having a face-off with Hokamori and winning. I also think that he probably dreams of eating warthogs and any animal, chasing after them. Perhaps him and Hosanna running through the golden grass, hand in hand, taking over the north together. I should have said paw and paw. I'm trying to get better at this whole guiding thing. It's taking me a few years. And word choice. And again, just announcing to everybody that this is his. And I'm trying to remember now, I did see something while I was in the Moro. Who was that young male leopard that was around? That sort of popped his nose on in for a little while, but hasn't seemed to stay around. I mean, I stand a correction. Like I said, I've got to go back and do all the research and make sure I'm up to date with everything that's going on with the leopard drama. Because that's what it is. It really is like a soap opera. I just think we're very privileged that we get to watch it. And it's been so much fun learning about all these animals. Oh, it seems as though James has not left his tent yet. And instead he is peering through the nest cam and looking at the sun setting.
I have not left the tent, and the sun is now going down behind Vuyatela Lodge. Now, the interesting thing about this picture for me is that the sun 3 weeks ago would have been setting to the right-hand side of the only tree on the right-hand side of the sun. So just behind the lodge. It is moving to the south as we head towards the summer, and I always like the fact that the sun sets in a slightly different place every night, especially as we go towards this time of year, which means that we are heading towards our growth season, and despite the fact that it's going to be hot to a level that will make us complain bitterly, this is the most exciting time of the year, of course, because it is the growing season, it is the breeding season, it is the time soon for the little lambs to be dropped, and of course for the predators to sup upon them, but hopefully we won't have to watch too much of that. So oh, look at that terrapin popping his head up, moving towards the side of the pan to see if he can catch himself a little insect. Now let us look towards the inlet. Oops. There we go. Can we see anything of note there? No, nothing coming down to drink just yet. Let's go around to perhaps the other view. Is it this one? Oops. No, that's the same one. Oops. Where is Scoobert is the question we have to ask ourselves. Where is young Scooby? There is a chilly wind blowing today, so I think that Scooby will probably spend another night beneath the wings of his mother. And we were watching him yesterday with the thermal camera, and it was hilarious to watch because his mother's and father's feathers insulate them really nicely, but his downy little chick feathers don't do such a good job. And if you watch him on a cool night, he looks like a sort of nuclear marble rolling along the ground, charging about the place, much brighter than everything else around him. So he's losing a lot of heat as he charges about, his feathers not quite yet useful to insulate him. And, I suspect that cold is probably quite a danger for him at this young stage, tender stage of his life. There's a dove, can you believe it? Cape turtle dove, come down for a drink, maybe eating a stone or two. In fact, it looks like a couple having a serious discussion. They're on the far left-hand side of your picture. Oh, there we go. One flew off. He tried to make amends. Did you see that, everybody? Rocky, you say this is very peaceful. That's exactly why I like the Nest Cam. It's because it gives me a sense of peace. There's something about it. I mean, I think it's probably the water, as I've said to you before. Human beings, one of their greatest needs is water, and I think being without it in a dry area makes people feel very uneasy, and so to be near it makes us all feel sort of at ease. Right, let's go back to Tinganana, who certainly seems to be aggressively marking his territory. He's almost certainly who we heard on foot this morning. He also seems to have stolen himself or caught himself yet another meal.
Did you say Singana, James? Because if you did say Singana with an S, it would make sense, because he has been singing beautifully this afternoon. No, he said Tinganana, but I think when he does it, we can call him Singanana. And beautiful, sharp teeth. I feel like he's going to rasp again, or he's going to get up and hopefully walk straight towards us, which I'll be envious, because I won't be able to take any pictures, and I'm a new camera. Ah, there he goes. You just got to say the magic word. Tigana's, you know, in his old age, he has managed to pick up a few. There he goes. Yay, this is my favorite part, where he walks right up to the car. It's truly amazing. Ah, James has just said that he could actually hear him from the tent. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to not get in the way here. I have to watch this. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm also going to watch him mark his territory right in front of my car. I'm not looking, because why would you not want to watch that? I mean, magic. I feel like that's the only way to describe that. To have a leopard so relaxed, soaring very close to the car, then to quite happily mark his territory right in front of you. And if I'd stuck my shoe out, I could have quite easily touched him. I wasn't going to, though. Don't touch the animals, please, if you come on safari, because it might be the last thing that you touch. Oh, that's a tree. Back to my old antics again, driving over things. Okay, so now here's the fun part. Vippy, shall we try your theory? You've said every time, well, you've noticed every time a presenter mentions Hukumuri's name, he soars. Okay, he's probably going to soar now, though, because I've just said it. And we'll see. I'm going to do a maneuver. I don't really want to drive right behind him, and also there is another vehicle in the sighting, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to zip around him, get in front, and we're going to wait far down the other end of the road so that we can get a much better view of him, and then also we will give that person opportunity. I don't know who's driving behind us, sorry that I've just called you person, if you go back and watch the show, so that they can also see the leopard walking, and then there's not too much pressure from cars coming behind him, not that he minds. So off we go, warp speed. Just joking, I'm not actually going that quickly, but I want to do this. Hold on, Senzo. And you see, now actually I've created a perfect scene for us, because we've got dust as well. Hey, Senzo, you know, always trying to create the magic. I don't know if it's so great from them behind and driving in my dust, but I'm sure going to enjoy it. So I'm going to pull right off of the road. Has he disappeared off the road now? I can't see him. There's too much golden light. Is there such a thing as too much golden light? Where is he? Oh, there he comes. He's right in front of that car. You can just see his tail. I hope you are ready for this. Okay, Vippy, are you ready? Hukumuri. No, I'm just joking, that's me, but it would have been nice if he did that. Should we try again? Hukumuri's lurking on the boundary, Tingana. Best you be careful. No, it's not working. I suppose, though, eventually, if I just kept saying it, he'd eventually soar. Ooh, now he's picked up a scent of something. That's beautiful. Kirsten has now said he's smelling for Hukumuri. I bet he's like, I can smell that bacon sizzling. No. But of course it is important. Perhaps, yes, Kirsty, maybe it's because he is an older leopard and he can't hear as well as he used to, so we'll say it again as he walks past. Imagine he soars as he walks right past me. That will be amazing. That will be so cool. Okay. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I'm just going to lean back a little bit. So, Tingana, we're all just saying how we haven't seen Hukumuri for quite some time. Have you seen him? Or have you scared him away with your bellowing, rasping calls? No. That didn't work either. Oh well. Well, we tried, exactly. We tried. It was fun while it lasted. It was amazing. Ah, okay. So we will let everybody carry on and move on past because we're kind of stuck here. And then I'm just thinking, what's closest? So we might have to go all the way around and then we will catch up to him, but we will... I'm just live at the moment. Cool. So just saying hello to everybody. Sorry, everybody's now trying to get on camera, but they can't. So we will look at... Oh, we haven't finished this yet. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. We will also eventually choose names. Where's Tesla this afternoon and Ben? I'm waiting. I've got everybody else's answers. I need Tesla and Ben's answers too. So Lady Starfire, if you're watching, they're at school. Phone the teacher. Get them into the principal's office. This is very important. I cannot stress how important this is. Do you know what I'm going to have to do? Is we're going to actually announce the name of Maurice's friend tomorrow. We won't be doing it this evening because I need Ben and Tesla to also have a chance. Now cover them up so they're not so distracting. Okay, let me reverse now. It always makes me laugh a lot when people drive past us and they're like, eyes are like this. Like, oh, we're going to be on TV. That's what everyone says to us. Can you put us on TV? And then all I can hear is Alicia, who is one of our producers, saying, because Alicia's from America and she does this really funny thing where she sends me, every time she sees me on the show, if she's not... Actually, no, you know what she did? She sent me a voice note one day, and so I'm digressing now, and it said in a very American accent, but she put it on, which was really funny. It made me giggle. And basically she said, I can see you're on the TV. They might be watching the show. Do you think they're watching the show? There's this guy, he's got his phone out. I wonder if he is watching us right now. Not. Are you watching the show? Man in the purple and pink checkered shirt. If you were watching us, wave. Now we've got to wait, what, like 20 seconds? Let's see. Imagine he turns around right now. There is it. I'm talking about this man over here. I don't think he's watching, but he's got his phone out, so I don't know. And it looks like he's watching a video of some sorts. Maybe he's just listening to the rasping sounds of Tingana. That would make more sense, of course. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay. Tingana, which way are you going to go? Left or right? Left or right? We'll just sit here for a minute. We'll let him do his thing. He's going to scent mark again. Right up against the wall. Did I just say the wall? There's no wall. Of course, that is just grass. I don't know why I said wall. Sorry, I've been in the city for too long. Ooh, this is exciting. It doesn't look like he's going to go south. It actually looks like he's going to turn and go back east, which is great news for us, because if he was going to go south, it would maybe only take him 10 minutes of walking, and then he would cross out of our traverse and into Little Garu. But he's not. He's actually going in the direction, not quite of Twin Dams. To give you an idea while we're here, I don't know if we're going to be able to follow him. It's tricky, but we'll give it our best go. So there's this drainage system that runs all the way along here, and Twin Dams is just down over there on the next sort of road. We'll give it a bash. Where are we going to go? I'm just trying to think. I suppose it's easier to off-road now because there's just there's not so many trees and things to navigate through. But the tricky thing is if you make the wrong call, it's quite a big section to go through before you get to the next road. And there's only one spot that we can cross this drainage line. And if he does that, and we're not anywhere near it, we could potentially lose him, which I don't really want to do, because I'd like to see where he's going. Okay, sorry, it's not a great view, but we'll just have a quick look at him, because I think he might go through that drainage line, and then I'd actually rather just drive around and wait for him on the other side, because Elvis was in the car with us, or not with us, but on the other vehicle. Tail up. Wonder who's in there. Maybe there's a couple of squirrels or birds and things that have spotted him. I'm just walking just out of sight. Huh. Okay, now I can't see what he's doing. Do we go to the other side? Oh, my gut feeling, which could be very wrong because I've been out of it for so long, and you know, you start to be able to predict what these animals are going to do because they are creatures of habit, and you don't necessarily, you know, you're not right all the time, but you get a good idea. Let's just see. Yeah, okay, the guests are all looking down, so I think he's going to go down. Yep. Yes! Winning! Okay. Meow, up we go. Oh, I just clicked my neck back into place. Who needs a chiropractor when you've got me driving? Okay, well, we're going to try and have a look here, and it definitely seems like he's crossed the drainage line, so I'm going to have my spotting eyes out, and hopefully the next time you see us, we'll be back with Tingana.
Thank you, Taylor, for holding Tingana. Don't let him go anywhere. We just got some news from friends of mine that they have spotted some lions from a distance, which might have brought down a buffalo. I want to find out where that exactly is, and that's why I have been racing coming to this direction. And it's another 200 meters. The description I got from where I am now is 200 meters this way. Then I'm going to look to my right. Whatever that means is always quite a challenge when we're in the game parks here or in Juma in South Africa without proper signage. But we give directions for the guides, and it's our duty to know how we understand the directions we are given. You might be told one thing and understand another. So my thinking is around here, and I'll request James, the big James, to keep looking on the right there, and I'll also try and get my binoculars out. Maybe you look with your naked eyes first, James, and you see if there's any movement or any lions anywhere from that area. But according to the guide, it's 200 meters. It's going to move forward a little bit, but the description, James, Pale, I think we might have spotted them. So James, let's just get close there. I think we might have spotted, or I might have seen something. So I'll move forward a little bit. If what I've seen is true, I think yes, I might have seen the lion. And it's not one, it's not two. So I'm gonna engage my low ratio and go to the right here. Let me see from this point. Yes, this is better. I'm gonna go to low ratio. And it will be very exciting if what I've seen is correct or is true, and is another what, 3 minutes drive from here. James, you have to hold on. You know, I'm not a very bad driver, James, but if I miss a pothole, you'll be in trouble. So you're going to go straight on, and I think, yes, in Kenya, Ajibani, my favorite big cat. It's the leopard that I haven't seen for some time. It's the leopard that I haven't seen for some time. It's a leopard because for so many good reasons. The intelligence, their spots, how they pull up their prey once they hunt, and the reasons that make me love the leopard. So, of the big cats we got in East Africa, I'm talking about lions and leopards. Leopard is my favorite big cat. I'm just being careful I don't end up in a hole that will have been dug by a warthog as I get to the feast of the lions. I might warn you, if you're a bit squeamish, it could not be the very best sighting for you if the lions are brought down. Oops. Oh, speak of the devil. A leopard, a buffalo, it could be a bit squeamish and a bit scary for people who don't like seeing blood. So just maybe walk away and maybe come later on. Let me get you the best tango, James, tell me. But yes, we got a whole pride of lions here that just brought down a buffalo, I would say, not more than 10 minutes ago. So if you're a bit squeamish, please, I'll request you look away. We are in infrared now, or you may just turn off your screen and maybe watch a different channel. But we got about over 10 lions here feasting on what used to be a buffalo. This was, I gather, 10 minutes ago when they brought this buffalo down. So friends of mine just called me, and I can smell the freshness of the buffalo. So earlier we had the Olorol Pride of Lions, and this one here is called the Marsh Pride of Lions. This is the Marsh Pride. Sorry, Cassie, say that again. Yes, I was saying earlier we had the Olorol Pride of Lions that were laying flat. This pride now is a different one, and I would just say this is the Marsh Pride of Lions. And it's called the Marsh Pride because it's always not very far from a marsh area that is close to where we are. It's at the moment about Wacky, you say, wow, and I hope you can hear them growling at each other. I mean, Wacky, this is too huge. You can see them snarling. Look at that particular one on the right there on the screen. I don't know why she's wearing faces. It's a lot for them to eat, Wacky, but I'm sure you can hear them going, wow. Can you hear that, Wacky? It's time now to sneeze and to tear this buffalo apart. Thank you very much. The cars can hear the sound in the final control. Wind is picking up. In general, I have noticed when lions bring down big game or big prey like buffaloes, males at times they're involved. But, oops, what's happening there? Either they're too hungry or they don't have what they call nice table manners. But I want to believe this pride or the Marsh Pride brought this buffalo down without the help of a male. But this number by any standard would comfortably bring down a buffalo or a giraffe or an eland. Not sure the youngsters that we see there what they would do, but I'm sure the lionesses, I'm counting 5 big lionesses. 5 big lionesses can bring down either a young buffalo, or maybe she was pregnant, unfortunately, or maybe she was too, old, or it was limping, because those are some of the factors the lions will consider before they zero in on who they're going to bring down. They look at so many factors, and maybe also how far she or he is from the main herd. Not far from where we are, about another 800 meters, we just passed a herd of about 500 buffaloes. So how these were separated from the rest, I do not know. But I would call this very epic. Very unfortunate for the buffalo, but lucky for the lions. And the good thing about the animals here is they'll always kill to eat. They kill for a purpose. But what would happen, for example, here, if the males were here, they would have been eating fast. And just if you look at that lioness there, it's got a cut tail. Hopefully it's going to flick it up again. But I'm seeing the fully grown ones now eating, and my guess is they must have allowed the young ones to eat first. That, to me, would be the pecking order. The fully grown ones and the fully grown female lionesses, they might have helped maybe the young ones just to, thaw and tear up and open up the skin of the buffalo. And once they did that, they would have allowed the cubs to go in first. But again, as I said, if the males were here, and mostly the triangle boys, I will tell you, they'll be eating first. That's the pecking order. And then they would allow the cubs in later, or the females. But males normally tend to eat before anybody else, regardless of whether they have brought the buffalo down. And that's the lion's kingdom, and that's their rule and ethic. And I do not know, maybe this could be from a distance, But James, do you think that's another rhino? It could be too far to see the infrared, but if you hold your camera where it is now, I think this... All right, let's go very quickly to Taylor.
Franklin. You won't believe what just happened. Senzo and I driving around trying to find this leopard because we lost him, so he went back across the other side and has now come back. And Senzo spotted him, and the next minute, as I was just getting into the perfect spot, he was so chill, just sitting there, doing nothing. This mother daycare and her baby came out, her youngster, and Tingana jumped up. And as he jumped up into the sort of ready position, the pounce position, there was a Franklin. It sounds like a crested Franklin that got the fright of its life. And you can still hear it. That's not, there's also babblers now. But he's still looking. It's a tiny little daycare. It is so, so, so small. So, what could happen is because it's young and inexperienced, he might try and hunt it again. He could go after them. But once that bird gave off that alarm call, Tingana knew that his sort of plan was foiled. Listen to how upset all the birds are. Wow, that was incredible. I mean, he was just sitting relaxing. That was so cool. And then all of a sudden, you realized that there was a Dacre around with a little one. I've never seen two Dacre run so fast in their entire life. The other time that I'd seen them move that quickly was when I saw one being chased by a wild dog that managed to get away. Whew. The excitement is unreal this afternoon. It feels like I'm in a bit of a safari dream. Everyone's watching him. He doesn't look too impressed now. Now, I know you're all rooting for the little Dike, and maybe that's because Hosanna has been depleting the population. There's a hyena there. No, you're talking nonsense now. Senzo, really? Where? I can't believe it. Oh, there it is. Look at that. When I said that, no, you're lying to Senzo, that is a typical South African expression of, are you joking? Like, oh, that's incredible. Obviously, that hyena has heard the commotion from the birds and probably gone, what's over there? And come to have a look. Well spotted. I was looking for the baby Dacre again. No, that's obviously what Tingana is watching. Sorry, that's me. I'm sorry, I didn't take my foot off the brake. Please forgive me, Senzo. Please forgive me. Rookie guarding 101. Even Tingana looked back to me as if to say, I cannot believe you just did that, Taylor. Reminding me to take my foot off the brake. Any young and up-and-coming guides, always take your foot off the brake at a sighting. There's nothing worse. But I do it all the time. It's such a bad habit. Okay, so I don't think the hyena's really going to come over and interact with Tingana unnecessarily. Obviously, neither of the species wants to potentially... I suppose, well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I'll think about what I'm going to try and say. James has got the clown bird that's come down for a drink.
I had the clown bird. I'm afraid it's gone. I'm just going to try and load the other camera. Hold on. This might be a white light. Oh dear. That's very irritating. I'll have to have a word with Conrad. Let me give it 1 second. 1 second, 1 second, and now, oh yes, there it is. Fantastic. Still no guinea fowl and a blue wheel of death. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, there we are. We seem to have sorted it out now. No guinea fowl. They are between cameras, if you can believe it. That's a pity. I'm sorry about that. We have had some hyenas around here, and where I'm sitting in the tent, we had an enormous explosion of activity as suddenly a herd of impala, a wildebeest, and a whole lot of nyala started alarm calling, and they ran out of the little drainage line that's in front of the tent, and I'm pretty sure Hosan is around here somewhere. I don't know if he caught anything. I didn't go in to check too closely, but maybe he managed to snaffle something. Whoops, a daisy, sorry about that. Nothing going on with that camera. and nothing going on with that camera. David Gitu is now, I think, at about 120 to 2. No, maybe I can have 3 points after this afternoon. Let's go back to him.
Yes, this is a great day from Tingana, Olololo Pride of Lions, and now the Marsh Pride Lions here, and with the kill, Buffalo. How epic is this? And as I warned earlier, if anybody is a bit squeamish, seeing blood or flesh, or one animal eating another, we request you either to switch off your screens or TV, or maybe come watch later. I think you can hear in the background as this squabbling, eating their dinner, how they're going for. Oops. And you have all gone in infrared to make sure we do not shine any bright light on them, not to influence them, not to affect their dinner. And you can tell they're having the best of time. What she is looking at, the one on the left there, you see the one looking, she's looking at a black rhino, which is only less than 100 meters from here. She's looking at a black rhino. It might be a bit dark, but what James might be trying to show us in the distance there is a black rhino. This is the second one we have seen under 1 hour. That's what she was looking at. Thank you very much, James. It's the black rhino there. And how epic to have lions having dinner and a black rhino moving away. She initially came so close to these lions, but she thought, well, I better go away. And the lions are happy having their meal. There's one youngster trying to go towards that rhino. I don't know what exactly she's doing. And you can see lightning from a distance, and hopefully we do not get storms that will interfere with this epic sighting. We had thunderstorms before that kept going, and I'm sure on the screen you've seen lightning come and go, but as it is now, no sign of rain. That particular lioness, yes, that flicking tail, James, go to the right a bit, James, just go to the right. James, if you move your camera to the right a bit. The other way. The other way, James. Keep going, keep going. Yes, there. That particular one, if you look on this tail, it's got like half a tail. And this reminds me of the triangle boys. Yes, thank you, James. One of them has a half a tail, and we call him the short tail or the half tail. I do not know the relationship between that particular male and this particular female. I do not know whether, well, I doubt he would have been the father of this one, but it's so interesting. In this particular area, we have seen the triangle boys or the musketeers moving around, and not once or twice I have seen the short tail male lion here, and I'm seeing now this short tail or half tail lioness. I do not know the connection between the two. I highly doubt he would be the father. She's just too big to have been fathered by the short tail male lion. But it's time to enjoy the feast. After having done the big job, they deserve every respect to enjoy their dinner. The calves, most of them look very well fed. I'm looking or seeing them earlier. Oh, their faces, they got blood, the bloody covered faces. And I think the lionesses or the females allowed, or the mothers allowed the calves to eat first, then they came in. Because when you look, see how they're pulling and tearing the flesh. And where I am, I'm just smelling all this. James, let me know when you get hungry from this. And once in a while you can hear them growl. Not sure you can hear them sneering and shearing the meat. Can a lion do what different times, Gary? Sorry, casting? Roam or roar? The role of lions will always differ. The times when the males do it, they'll do it to re-establish their territories. Sometimes they will do it to call each other. So every roar is different from the other. And I've noticed if it rains, for example, and all the scent markings that have been there are gone and they're washed away, they'll come, keep peeing, and then they roar, and more so at night. If there'll be any males around there or any males trying to think they might come and take over, they'll always hear that that area is covered. And the triangle boys, the four of them when they roar, I've seen them like two going together and then two together and then sometimes one at a time roaring, which is always clear message to would-be invaders or would-be male lions coming to take over. This area is occupied. So every roar from the lion will have different meaning. Sometimes I've seen them roaring, calling each other. If they're separated for one reason or another, we have seen them calling each other. The females will also do the same, not roar like the males, but to just hear them calling in low tones. They must have been very hungry, these lions. The pace they're eating at, they're not letting go. In their minds somewhere, I'm sure back in their minds, they're thinking, if the triangle boys will pick this, they'll be here in the shortest possible time. And definitely once they come in, you'll see how these lionesses and the cubs will go away from the kill to allow the boys to feed. And they'll just come and like get crushed and out of our way. It's time for us to eat. And that reminds me, the last 1 week before I left Juma in South Africa, we had the Niconico Lions, the Pride of Lions, had brought down a buffalo, and the Avoca males the day after went for the same kill and pushed out the hard-working lionesses. But while that is how the Lion Kingdom work, are you too full? Are you having a little rest before you go back in on the plate? And this is the beauty of infrared. Unless maybe they can hear me talking, chances are they do not even notice our presence. And you can tell from how they're feeding. Not sure how much will be left by tomorrow morning from this kill. But I can tell you, if anything, very low. Sunak, always big pleasure to hear your name. And yes, I agree with you 100%. These lions are hungry. I saw them early in the morning, and I mentioned, I'm not sure, Sunak, you are watching us that time, and I said they looked very hungry and they may not go for another day before they hunt. And here they are. And from the look of things, yes, they were hungry, and they did not make a mistake. A buffalo was the right meal for them. When they looked on the menu, a zebra or a wildebeest or a topi would have been not a very good choice. Buffalo was just befitting the whole group, or an eland or a giraffe. But I would say this time around, not having so many wildebeest from where we are, the first choice on the menu is always buffalo. I'm just trying to wonder whether I would be able to know whether this was a male buffalo or a female. Maybe how old it was, how young it was. Very difficult to tell at the moment from how it's being surrounded and being devoured by these hungry lions. And how beautiful, how epic is this. One of the biggest advantages of lions is they work in numbers. When they hunt, when they go hungry, their strength is the numbers. And, casting the final control says, this is really awesome. And definitely being the marsh pride and not being very far from the marsh. At one point, I'm sure they'll have a little break, go have a drink, and then maybe come back. What I know for a fact, they'll not go drinking altogether. They'll be here, and some will go drink, some will stay back, making sure maybe the other scavengers or other predators like hyenas do not come anywhere close. Taylor, do you think you might get another leopard that can beat this year?
Well, something even more exciting. It looks like this hyena is hunting at the moment, which is something that we don't get to see here in the Sabi Sand. Now, it's been chasing around a herd of impala, which is really, really quite cool. It's just stopped now, and it's still going for them, though. It's like it keeps going right towards them, but the impala know that this hyena is here. Now it's stopped. Now it looks like it's picked up another scent, but it went charging on into the middle of the herd, and that whole herd dispersed, and we saw it do it from a distance. Here it goes again. So he's going to run straight towards him. You go shoot forward, Sensor. Sorry, I've just parked in a spa. Hi, wildebeest! Hello! The wildebeest is just there too. See, look, look, look. He's going. I don't know what he's doing now, but he definitely is going after the impala. Looks like a male. I'm just guessing, of course, this hyena. I can't really see. It's very, very difficult, and it's particularly difficult to try and sex hyenas. Nose on the ground. The other thing is that Hosanna could also be in the area. James said that he thinks there was a leopard near the tent, so it would make sense, you know, if there's a whole lot of food up on quarantine, the big open plains just behind camp. Why would you not go there? You see that hyena is still beelining straight towards those impala, following a scent. This is fascinating. We're going to stay here. Now the impala are panicking. The hyena's running again, straight towards him. Impala all panicking and running away. Now he's not charging in towards him like he was earlier. Maybe there's one that he's after. You just have to look through the gaps of the trees at the moment. This is fascinating. You see the impala are very nervous. Going back round. Like I said, maybe there's one. Okay, so the impala have now moved off, away, and the hyena is now walking in the opposite direction. That is so fascinating. How bizarre. We'll just sit and just watch what he does. So I know it's not the greatest view right now, but if it does walk forward, there we go. Let's see. Are you coming back? Kirst, I think if this hyena does come back again towards these impala, I think it would be just something quite interesting. Let's see. Okay, so I think let's go. All right, everybody, we're going to do a special broadcast. I'm going to sit very quietly. No, now there's technical difficulties. We're standing by. I'm just sitting quietly. You guys can enjoy the peace and quiet. Good evening and welcome to the Sabi Sand, where we've got one of the most mysterious creatures out here, and that, loping away like that, is a hyena. And there's also a wildebeest that you're about to see. Now, it's really, really interesting as to see what's going on with this hyena at the moment, and the interaction hasn't actually been with that wildebeest, but in fact a herd of impala. My name is Taylor McCurdy, and on camera with me today is Senzo, and we're really, really excited to have you on board this live safari. He's coming. There he goes. Now, like I said, this is a live safari, so you can just comment away and actually ask me questions in real time, which is incredible. So nose on the ground. Now, at first I thought this hyena must be hunting these impala, and then I sort of had a second thought and thought maybe it's just picked up the scent of a leopard. But the fact that this hyena keeps going back straight towards the herd of impala, and just before you joined us, we managed to see him, and I think it's a male hyena, charging on in and sort of causing quite a stir. So here the impala that we were talking about. Now, we're also in black and white, as you can see. We've got our special infrared lights on, so we don't have any spotlights on any of these animals at the moment. It's relatively sort of dark out here at the moment. The sun has dropped behind the horizon. And I've got another treat for you. We're going to go to our special thermal camera called the FLIR. Are you ready to have a look? to see what these animals look like. There we go. Look at that. So now you can see the impala, you can see how cold the ground is, but the trees are still retaining heat. So everything that's dark, it's cold, and everything that's sort of pinks and purples is holding heat. Now, the hyena is just off to the left, but you can see all those eyes, all those impalas are peering straight over and making sure that they don't take their eyes off of it. Because even though hyenas have been labeled with scavengers and they just steal meals from other animals, they actually do more hunting out here in the Sabi Sand than anything. And I've seen hyenas hunting kudu before, which is another big antelope. So something like an impala is really, really, really not a difficult thing for them to catch. Mike, it is really cool colors, don't you think? I think it's really, really splendid to be able to use the FLIR camera. It helps us at night, and you can use it during the day too. And for those summer days when the grass is nice and tall, you can still see all the animals hiding behind it, which is pretty cool. I don't know where that hyena is gone. He's just off to the left. Seanak, in terms of success of hyenas hunting, oh my goodness, I haven't seen enough hyena hunting attempts, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm just guessing now. I'm giving an average. I don't really know. I would say they're better than lions, so maybe about 40% success in hunting. Again, this is not an actual statistic. I'm just trying to sort of gauge a guess here, but it would be a lot better than I think lions. They use a different tactic. So they don't necessarily stalk their prey and need to get right underneath it to hunt it. They will chase down their prey. Hyenas have got incredible stamina. And then, of course, they're also hunting out in groups and clans. So very much like wild dogs. Wild dogs have got an incredible success rate. Perhaps I'm not being generous enough. Maybe it is 60%. That, you know, they're sort of, when it comes to successfully bringing prey down. I think the hyena is off to the left. We're back in infrared again. There we go. There, that's where I think the hyena is. So I'm just using my hand as a pointer. It's very, very dark. We can't see much. But I just sort of saw a shape. Now it's stopped. I think it was listening to something. So even though hyenas are good hunters, if they do hear the sound of a leopard or they pick up the scent of a leopard or even lions, they're known to tail those predators and hope that they can, you know, grab a mouthful on anything that they, you know, they might kill, or potentially scavenge the entire carcass. But how cool is that? Just looking back at those impala now. And the game is not over for this hyena just yet, but it does look like it has lost interest in all those impala. Oh no! Turning back around. Maybe it's going to try a different angle. We're back on the FLIR, the thermal camera again, which I think is very, very pretty as it walks through all these trees, and all these trees that you can see are silver cluster leaf trees. They don't really have any leaves on them. Oh, there we go. There, the impala again. You see how also the big ram, the male impala, or the one with the horns, is ushering everybody forward. Also exhibiting how athletic they are by leaping over that fallen tree with absolute ease. Very interesting to see what's going on. You can see those impala are not trusting that hyena tonight. And I think that's what, if this hyena is going to attempt, essentially hunt their impala, he is going to try and stir them up. Patrick, wild dogs like to hunt, not wild dogs, hyenas like to hunt a bit more like wild dogs. So like I was saying, they use stamina, they'll chase after their prey, rather than a lion and trying to stalk right up to it. So that is their sort of preferred method that they'll use. And because this hyena is on its own, it could be quite difficult to catch something like an impala, which, as I said, and what we just witnessed, they're incredibly athletic, and you know, leaping over and sprinting and bounding about is not a challenge for an impala. So a hyena is going to have to be in tip-top shape in order to bring down something like that, unless it does manage to sort of stir them around to the point where one impala runs towards it and it can grab it. Back in the infrared again, like I said, there's no light on these animals, which is the most incredible way to view these animals. Spotlights are fantastic to try and of course spot the prey, but or any animal, we're very fortunate to have these special lights. Maria, I suspect that this is a male hyena. Again, it's very difficult to tell the difference between the two, so that would not be unusual for a male or even a low-ranking hyena to be out on its own. Yes, hyenas are typically in clans, but they can also be quite spread out. So when they're around the den sites, you'll see quite a few of them about. Otherwise, they don't necessarily, like lions, lay in a pile and on top of one another. They'll sort of spread themselves out all in the area, just making sure they keep their territory nice and safe. But a very, very cool scene, some great interaction between these animals, and I hope that you all enjoyed that. Something very special to see here in the Sabi Sand. But remember, you can keep watching Safari Live, and you can just Google us now too, because you never know what this hyena might get up to. But from all of us here, it's been great, and we'll see you next time. Wonderful. I'm going to take a breather. Off we go to David, who's still with the big cats. No, I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting that we have this delay. I promise tomorrow I'll be better.
The party continues, and James was whispering to me he's getting a bit hungry. And normally he doesn't eat this time around, but I think from what has been seeing, these lions devouring this buffalo, I mean, maybe his saliva glands started saying, can we get some meal? Well, James, don't worry, we'll get you some dinner tonight. But the eating or the party continues here. So the cubs have been eating more than the adults, than the lionesses. And if you look at that particular, you can see the belly is just sagging, meaning it got a few pounds of flesh in its belly. Look at that particular one there. It's trying to get an angle that it can be comfortable. It can't even lay down because it's going to be very comfortable, and that's it. Has to give a big yawn. Look at how the belly is sagging and going back right in to dig in for more. Earlier we had some jackals from a distance like backing, and as I was saying, if anything that would happen now is either hyenas would come in and the triangle boys. So that the two possible cadets that may come in. That's the pecking order when predators do their kills here. It's like cheetahs when they make kills and they don't eat very quickly and the hyenas pick it up. The hyenas will come and, just displace them and get into their kill. So these guys or these lions know if hyenas come in big numbers, anything from 10, 15, well, 5 would be okay. I'm sure the lions can contain them, but 10 plus or so hyenas, they would very, very easily dislodge these lions from the kill. I'm not sure why they keep growling every few seconds as they eat. I mean, they have enough to eat. Some have even rested, they're not eating. But look at those two youngsters there. It's like this is their first and last meal in their life. The way they are staying and the angle they are, have put themselves in is to make sure nobody gets so close. So what I think now, they're eating the soft parts, which anybody wants to reach very, very quickly. And like the one on the right, if you look at it carefully there, James, that one is still trying to open the hind quarters of the buffalo. That's a bit tough area. So it have like to thaw and tend to soften the skin, and then it's able then to bite and tear it up to access to the flesh. Again, please don't forget to ask us questions or send us comments from what you can see there if you're not very squeamish on #SafariLive. And you're going to enjoy this beauty together of the African wilderness. It's time to have a little break now. And I'm still convinced they may not opt. Wow, did you see that lightning there? Sorry, that was too quick. Jaden asked something about what? Sorry. Oh, Jaren, sorry, we didn't get the kill live. If you just joined us, we are in the Mara Triangle, and we're in a country called Kenya in East Africa. So friends of mine called me much later after the kill, and by the time we got here, the kill was about 10-15 minutes old. So we didn't witness, or we are not very likely to see it kill, but as we got here, they had just started treating it. Sorry, yeah, Jaren, yeah, we missed the kill. We didn't see all the ambush or the planning. But would imagine there was a lot of work that was done by these lionesses as they laid the ambush and, went stalking and crouching towards the buffalo to the final countdown of bringing it down. So I kept wondering, or I've been asking myself, was it an old buffalo? Was it a youngster? Was she pregnant if it was a female? Was it limping? Was it sick? Pro-cut mama, I'll tell you, it depends on the size of the lion and also on the age. We have seen on good sitting, a fully grown male lion could comfortably eat 40 to 50 pounds of flesh. 40 to 50 pounds, that is a lot of meat. I mean, I don't know how much you can eat or how much I personally can eat if it's meat only. But yes, I've seen one big male on one sitting eating pretty close, I would say, to 60 pounds. That is about 30 kilos of meat, one fully grown male. So that's very possible. Of course, the young ones will eat less. The females maybe not as much, but the males, cat mama, they tend to eat more than the females and the youngsters. Here, speed is important. They know they have to eat very quickly. And as I said earlier, the two main concerns would be either hyenas or the males, if they come, the triangle boys. So those would be the only animals that may come and give them a bit of a concern. But as it is now, so far so good. I've just heard some jackals barking from a distance. They try to come, just two. And of course those are tiny little guys. They may not do much. But it's like one of them is moving away, James. Do you think so, maybe? Not sure that's the case. Just find out. That she just came back. I think she was trying to chase away the jackal that was just barking a few minutes ago. They tried to clip in slowly, coming close. Think what should happen is, sometimes, unless it had something like TB, we have picked once in a while lions or other cats suffering from TB, and definitely they'll have gotten it from the prey they bring down. And buffaloes, just like cows, are very prone to tuberculosis, for example. So if it had TB, for example, definitely chances are the lions would get it, but not a guarantee. If it was maybe some mild infection, that would be fine. Chances are they would not get it. If it was a different sickness, some kind of fever, or maybe it had a broken leg or something, they'll be fine with that. But we have noticed once in a while cats like lions getting an infection like TB, which definitely they pick it from the herbivores, but somehow they recover, and through their antibodies they tend to heal and they're always back to themselves. Yes, if it could have some kind of sickness, it could be very easy to pass it over to the lions. These two are fully fed. There's that one on the left that you can see she's just laying down, like, I don't know how many pounds of flesh did you eat? So what it looks like mud to me is all the blood and all the internal organs, especially the stomach contents that they ruptured open. That's what looks like mud on their bodies, but it's not mud per se. These two youngsters there are not letting go, and I'm trying to imagine either they're eating the liver or the lungs or any soft organ. That's what they're going for. Being young, they also need the soft part of the buffalo to eat, while the strong ones or the fully grown ones are definitely dealing with the flesh. You better eat as quickly or as much as possible. If the triangle boys get here, I'm telling you, they will put you aside and they'll take over. Tracy, you see, in the lion's kingdom, what we usually see are prides of lions. Prides of lions will consist of females and youngsters. The youngsters could either be males or females, and of course fully grown lionesses. And then we have what we call coalition of lions, and the males tend to hang out together. Earlier, I'm not sure, Tracy, you're watching, we had another pride that we call the Olololo pride, lions, a pride of lions called the Olololo, and there were two males with that pride, and those two males are part of the four musketeers or the triangle boys. But in this particular pride now, and those four musketeers are also in charge of this particular marsh pride, and they'll always come around during mating times, or if it come into feeding times, they'll always come around and hang with them. But at the moment, Tracy, it's only the females and the youngsters. So the boys do not know. And from where we saw the Olololo pride to here, I would say could be about 11 miles. So it's quite a long way. So those males may tend to stick with those ones, and they did not look very hungry from what I saw. And that's why we don't have the males here. The other two boys, I do not know where they are, but those particular two were with the Olololos. So this particular pride, Tracy, is your first time to join us. This is called the Marsh Pride, or any other viewer who is joining us for the first time. We're in the Mara Triangle, and this particular pride of lions here is called the Marsh Pride. Taylor, what are you driving up to now?
I don't know just yet. Maybe into a tree. I mean, that could be a possibility. Brrr, like I said, it's freezing tonight, and here I sit with with shorts and a little jersey. So we've come to also look for Hosanna, who I cannot find, but I'm sure he's probably just in camp. Maybe he's watching Netflix with Louise, because Louise is also back at work. Perhaps that's the case. What's that? Do you think it's him? No jokes. Is it? Are you going to... What are you looking on? We're trying to figure out if... is that not him? Or is it a Dacre? It's a Dacre coming for a drink. Hosanna, where are you? Or should I shout, dinner's ready? As my mom always... No, not my mom. But everyone in camp always shouts that. Okay, I'm just having a scan around. Okay, sadly... No Hosanna. Okay, so everybody, there's something that I need to tell you that I've been trying to hold off for the entire game drive, but I've got to get it over and done with anyways. This was my first game drive being back at work. So sadly, on the 13th of October, that'll be my last safari with Wild Earth. I shall be heading on to do all sorts of other wonderful things, but it has been so much fun. And you've got lots of time before I disappear. So I'm going to annoy you, all of you, as much as I possibly can in the next little while. But anyways, let's see if we can find Hosanna to end off the show, because that would be really amazing. That would be the bee's knees if we could actually find him. But I do think that he's probably just in one of those drainage lines down in... probably in front of the new rooms, where I always do my bushwalks, where I'm still waiting. I wonder if there's still a lot of water there. That's something we must still do, to go and watch the birdies one afternoon. So we'll see if we can do an afternoon bushwalk at some point, or maybe we'll just spend it on foot with Hosanna. Okay, so we've had a good drive though. I mean, from James's probably hilarious commentary on the next camp to David with all the lions and elephants, and then lions eating things, buffalo, and then of course Tingana for me really stole the show. It was very, very, very special. And I can hear Skopsal. Where are you? Let's see if I can hear it again. Yes. hear hyenas. Listen, let's listen to the sounds. That's so cool. I can hear hyenas calling. I wonder if it was the same hyena that we were watching, because it doesn't actually sound too far away, just down in the drainage line. But I don't know where the scops owl is. Where is the scops owl? Oh well, we'll hopefully find the scops owl. We need Byron back in order to see any owls. Because I don't actually think I have very much luck with finding owls. Oh well, that's okay though. Although there's the pair that lives at Inga's other accommodation. Anyways, join us tomorrow morning for another wonderful sunrise safari. But thank you all for today, and we'll see you all soon.